$50 gift cards for only $25. Go to voiceofct.com, click on the Sweet Deal banner. Restaurants include Pepe's Pizza, Vazzi's, Saloon, Jacob's Pickles, Zuka, Mill Pond Gathering, Pier 131, Dino's Seafood, Vinny's Deli, Amici's, and more. Buy $50 gift cards for only $25. Go to voiceofct.com, click the Sweet Deals banner. Sweet.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com. That's babbel.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Working on at least a wet track out there and got plenty of patches of heavy fog too, so watch your speeds, please. Headlights on as well. 95 southbound in Milford, accident reported approaching exit 40, and that has things backing up towards West Haven. Lower Fairfield County 95 north, just busy for Stamford and Norwalk. Traffic report powered by Kitchen Corner. Visit Kitchen Corner in Fairfield, the headquarters for all your baking and cooking needs, offering expert knife sharpening 203-374-1118 or kitchen-corner.com. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Bjorek on WICC.
Tell Paul what he needs to know. Text 203-333-9422. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pizzelli. WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
So understand something. All this stuff you hear out of the Democratic majority in Hartford regarding lowering energy prices or even doing things. And look, we know this is going to take years and years and years and years. There's no magic button here. There's no magic bullet. But again, every single thing in Hartford gets bogged down in partisan politics. And ideas that might work, we don't know if they'll work or not, but ideas that might work, if there's even the littlest R stamp on them, meaning it came from a Republican, it's a non-starter in Hartford. You think the U.S. Congress is bad? I would tell you that Hartford is worse. Here's an example. Now, you may be saying, oh, that's just because you're a registered Republican. No, I'm going to read you, and this is a little bit in the weeds here, but bear with me here. And I'd love to hear what you think about this. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC, because it's my contention that legislative Democrats in Hartford care more about their pet funding projects than they do about ratepayers here in Connecticut. I'm telling you. And if you don't think that's right, listen to this. Listen to this. And again, I am reading this with the full understanding that there is no magic bullet. You're not going to flip a switch, trip a couple of circuit breakers, and suddenly say, hey, the electric rates are low. No, this is a multi-decade problem we got into, and now it's going to take multiple decades to get out of. This happened last week. The Energy and Technology Committee debated two bills aimed at addressing Connecticut's electricity costs in its final scheduled meeting of the legislative session. So again, they kept this till the end, by the way, in this committee by saying, hey, we're not scheduled to meet anymore. Oh, darn it, we're out of time. The Republican proposals did not advance, but the committee voted to send the Democrats' priority energy bill to the Senate floor. So here's cowardice part one. And again, I'm sorry if I'm being, partisan on this, but I'm going to. Because enough is enough. And somebody's got to call out the crap that we hear from state legislators all the time and the Democratic majority about how, well, we're looking for good ideas. No, you're not. You're not. Because you didn't even allow some Republican ideas to be voted on in the House or Senate floor. It's the oldest trick in the book. They kill them in committee, and they say, oh, what is this Republican dandruff on my shirt? The Republican bill was called an act concerning protections for consumer access to affordable electricity. Now, here's the part the Democrats hated so much that they wouldn't even let it come to a vote. Listen, if you think an idea is crap, that's fine. At least have the balls to vote on it. Don't kill it in committee. Because this is what happens in Hartford all the time. And too many people get caught up in who's the governor, Lamont this, Malloy this, Lamont. Ned Lamont is not the problem. It's the people in his party that are the problem. The Republican bill would have shifted the funding for certain energy programs, including renewable energy subsidies and energy efficiency initiatives, from consumer electric bills to the state budget. So what the Republicans are saying in Hartford is, hey, we can keep these programs. Stop, you Democrats, stop making consumers pay for them. If you're so wrapped up in this stuff, make it a budget line and let's debate that budget line. But that's not the way the majority operates in the state, because they say they know better than you and you and you. And guess what, kids? You're the suckers, and many of you are the suckers for voting for these people. Oh, well, I know he's a Democrat, but he shows up at my son's rubber chicken Little League banquet. Oh, that's great. That's great. Republican leaders contended that that change would provide immediate relief to ratepayers burdened by some of the highest electricity costs in the nation, while Democrats expressed concerns about the, you ready for this, long-term consequences of such a shift. So you have the pedantic Democratic Party in Hartford saying, hey, all right, maybe this will make electric bills a little bit lower, okay, by maybe 20, 30, 40 bucks a month. But you filthy Republicans, you're not looking long-term here. The bill ultimately failed, and here's the key part, folks. You have to understand this. You have to understand this. This is the dirtiest trick they do in Hartford. The bill ultimately failed not on a direct vote on the merits, but through a procedural rejection. So if you walk around in the next few days saying, hey, I heard the guy on WICC said they voted against getting rid of the consumer benefits charge, or whatever that charge is. No. It never got to a vote. And that's how the majority in Hartford kills a lot of stuff when it comes to energy, when it comes to crime regulation, when it comes to the ability of cops to actually fight crime. The committee first considered a motion to add the bill to the agenda for a final vote. That motion introduced by two people who've been on this show, State Representative Tracy Mara of Darien, a Republican, and Republican State Senator Ryan Fazio of Greenwich. Now, they said, hey, the bill had over 750 pieces of public testimony in support, and we should just vote on this. The proposal included cutting the public benefits charges from electric bills, capping the price of power purchase agreements, and allowing nuclear and hydropower to compete with solar and wind. So you're sitting there going, it's not a bad idea. Bring in more nuclear power, more hydropower, see how it stacks up, how expensive is it? And for God's sake, get rid of that public benefits charge and let's put it in as a regular line item in the budget. However, here it comes. Democrats opposed adding it to the agenda. Representative Jonathan Steinberg, Democrat Westport, co-chair of the committee, here's his argument that, quote, most of the in-person testimony we heard opposed the bill, and that many of the provisions were non-starters. Jesus, John, can you be more arrogant? I hate when either side, especially the Democratic majority in Hartford, it says, well, this is a non-starter. You know what that means? Well, we're not going to consider it. It's got an R in front of it. My God, what are you people kidding? Consider a Republican bill in Hartford? He and other committee members warned that shifting renewable energy funding to the state budget could leave clean energy programs vulnerable to future budget cuts, potentially reducing funding for energy efficiency programs, workforce training, and home energy improvements. Here's the bottom line. The majority Democrats in Hartford don't give a crap how high your electric bills are. They just don't. They just don't. I don't understand what is so hard to understand here. They don't care, especially if it's a viable idea that might be generated by a Republican. They don't care. I mean, you've got John Steinberg here, Democrat Westport. I know he's on the radio station and the other day parts here. I choose not to even bother on this show. But for God's sake, well, these are non-starters. And if that's the arrogance, people, of the leadership in Hartford. It is pure, unmitigated arrogance that they don't even entertain some Republican ideas for a vote. For a vote. They are so connected to this program and that program and energy efficiency and green renewables. They are so committed to that. What they say essentially is the majority says, on an everyday basis, screw the ratepayer.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, construction, exit 40 at the overpass. Stay to the left to get through. Otherwise, working with a wet track out there. Watch your speeds, please. Even getting some reports of patchy fog, too. So your headlights would be helpful as well. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Experience, we've got your flooring needs covered. From intricate area rugs, durable vinyl and laminate to elegant stair runners. Shop anywhere, but make sure to see us before you buy. Visit courtesycarpet.com to explore our extensive selection. Visit Ellen, Jay, and the team at Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. Trust us, the experts in quality flooring. Because at Courtesy Carpet, your satisfaction is our courtesy.
Wondering if your furnace will make it through the season? For as low as $149 a month, we can upgrade your heating system and keep your family comfortable. Hi, it's Steve Basso from Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC. It's time to evaluate your furnace. My team at Basso are experts at evaluating and problem solving. Often our annual maintenance plan is all you need. But if it's time for an upgrade or you're looking to convert, Basso will give you the best heating solution for your home. From maintenance to upgrade to conversion, keep your family warm with Basso. Learn more at BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
When disaster strikes, whether it's a house fire, furnace malfunction, or burst pipes, trust me, Felicia, the owner of Robin Hood Adjusters, to be your advocate. With over a decade of experience, I specialize in increasing the settlement value of your insurance claim and shielding you from unethical lowball offers by the insurance giants. Visit RobinHoodAdjustersCT.com and see how I can help protect your interests and get you the compensation you deserve. At Robin Hood Adjusters, I work for you.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. A federal judge has ordered a hearing this afternoon on whether the White House violated his order blocking deportations under the Aliens Enemies Act. CBS's Weijia Jiang at the White House.
The judge in the case ordered the flights to return to the U.S. even if they were midair, but a defiant White House claims federal courts do not have jurisdiction to weigh in since the planes had already left U.S. territory.
Charlie Daggett reports there will be a closely followed phone call tomorrow.
President Trump says he's going to speak with President Putin over the phone tomorrow. He told reporters a lot of work has been done over the weekend regarding Ukraine. In his words, we want to see if we can bring that war to an end.
A new report out shows shoppers spending a bit more, but they're very cautious these days, as Jill Schlesinger tells us.
Companies like Dollar General, Walmart, Costco, Kohl's, and Macy's have already said that they are seeing consumers pull back on their spending. This report may lead credence to that warning.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 300. CBS News Brief.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
3 adults and 3 juveniles have been arrested after Bridgeport police say they were found in a car with guns and drugs. Police conducted a traffic stop on Boston Avenue on Thursday and say firearms were seen by officers inside the car. A search of the vehicle allegedly revealed 2 handguns, including a ghost gun, along with Xanax pills and a large amount of marijuana. The 6 juveniles and young adults are facing various charges. Governor Ned Lamont is worried that cuts by the Trump administration could lead to a fiscal crisis in Connecticut. Lamont says the state's budget should be in good shape for the rest of the current fiscal year that ends June 30th. However, the governor says the uncertainty over huge spending cuts ordered by the Trump administration could lead to issues crafting the upcoming 2-year budget package. Connecticut Congressman John Larson also had harsh words for the administration, particularly regarding Elon Musk after the tech billionaire failed to appear at a hearing concerning the Department of Government Efficiency.
I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security.
100 people gathered on West Main Street in Stamford yesterday to protest actions taken by the Trump administration, including, but not limited to, Elon Musk's involvement. The protest was peaceful and was one of several that took place across the country, with many others taking place at Tesla showrooms. News 12 reported that another protest was scheduled for Saturday, April 5th, in front of the Stamford government building. Residents are being advised to have safe delivery options to thwart porch pirates. This comes after Guilford police said a red car followed a FedEx delivery truck on Willow Road late Saturday morning. Shortly after a delivery was made, a surveillance video posted on the police department's Facebook page showed a man stealing the package and fleeing. Anyone with additional video of the theft is asked to contact Guilford police. A basketball coach at Foreign High School in Milford has been placed on leave after being arrested for an incident at practice last month. Foreign JV basketball coach Joe Meade allegedly shoved a player on his team, swearing at him in front of the rest of the team on February 19th. He also allegedly called the 15-year-old male victim a, quote, 5-time felon. The 67-year-old Meade is charged with breach of peace and is due in Milford Superior Court on March 28th. Yale University police this morning issued a request that any unusual or suspicious behavior be reported. 5 juveniles carjacked a delivery truck on Canner Street late last month. No one was hurt, and the vehicle was later located. Anyone with information about the carjacking is asked to contact either New Haven or Yale University police. Both Connecticut U.S. senators voted against the funding bill that was passed by the Senate on Friday. Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy opposed the measure that continues funding the U.S. government through September 30th. Blumenthal says the Republican bill slashes billions of dollars from community budgets for police officers, firefighters, and teachers, and for critical research. Murphy says this bill makes changes to law that will make it easier for President Donald Trump to implement his plan to destroy the country. Visitors of Great Island in Darien will soon have more freedom to explore with their dogs. The town board of selectmen unanimously agreed to allow dogs off the paths on Great Island starting June 1st. The presence of dogs on Great Island has been a matter of debate in town for some time. TV 79 in Darien attended a Parks and Rec meeting this past fall where a town-wide survey was cited about residents' concerns.
The first one is concern about ecology and ecologically sensitive areas and the impact that dogs can have on that. The second is a water quality issue because waste is a reality. And then finally, there are people who just say that they're afraid of dogs.
Pet owners will have to keep dogs on a leash while on property and will need to pick up after them, too. And the Yale men's basketball team is headed to the NCAA tournament. Yale defeated Cornell to win the Ivy League championship and an automatic bid to the Big Dance. Yale is a 13 seed and is in the NCAA tournament for the fourth time in the last 5 years. The Bulldogs will be traveling to Denver to play 4-seed Texas A&M on Thursday in the first round of the tournament. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, construction, exit 40 at the overpass. Stay to the left to get through. Otherwise, working with a wet track out there. Watch your speeds, please. Even getting some reports of patchy fog, too. So your headlights would be helpful as well. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You've got thoughts. Share them with Paul. Text 203-333-9422. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli is back on WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
I mean, come on. You can't be serious. Talk about thoughts. Do you really think electric bills are ever going to go down in this state by something that's done in Hartford? Seriously? Honestly, you need help. Do you have a therapist? Do you have somebody you just spill your guts to once a week for $150 for the hour? Seriously. 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Do you at all trust anybody in the General Assembly, especially the majority Democrats, to care? Because they don't. I'm sorry, and I know there may be people listening up in Hartford or people in Fairfield County that know so and so and so and so, and you're gonna you're gonna text me or call me at 333-9422 and say, well, you're just being partisan. Yes, 1,000 times yes, I'm being partisan because it is partisan. And by the way, Ryan Fazio, state Republican senator from Greenwich, is going to join us next hour because he sat through that lunacy last week at the state capitol where the Democratic majority wouldn't even bring some Republican ideas up for a vote. Listen, if you think the ideas suck, that's fine. Have the balls to vote on them. But this is how things are done in Hartford. So I know a lot of people, and God bless, people that start these petitions like Change.org and our buddy Scott Pearson, and how much good attention that brought to the issue. But in the end, they don't care. The people that run this state, the people that get that are elected over and over and over and over again, they don't care about how high your bills are. Because if they did, they might just say, well, we're not thrilled with this idea, but maybe our Republican friends on the other side of the aisle are onto something. No, they won't. Do you understand me? They won't do that. The only way that changes is if every 2 years you get off your addiction of electing Democrats in Hartford and give the Republicans a majority again. Oh, but I know Donald Trump. So your hatred of Trump is feeding your I guess, your throbbing desire to pay higher electric bills. Because it makes no sense. One provision, was in that Republican bill from last week that didn't even make it out of committee. It doesn't mean the bill has to be approved. But it didn't even make it out of committee. This bill would have allowed utilities, power companies, to purchase cheaper renewable energy credits from out of state. Currently, Connecticut requires power companies to buy renewable energy credits at rates of $20 to $30 each. Out-of-state credits can be purchased by, in other states, because they still help the environment, at $2 to $3 each. But that wasn't even entertained last week. Legislators, Republicans said, hey, here's a good way to lower costs. Let's stop turning the screws on the power companies that service our people and say, well, okay, we're going to let you buy out-of-state credits on the theory of every little bit helps the environment. Democrats countered, it could weaken, here it is, folks, you have to understand this, it could weaken Connecticut's renewable energy sector and lead to job losses. Folks, you have to understand this. The renewable energy stuff, the green energy stuff, it's like a sacrament to these people in Hartford. So when they say we're going to try and lower your energy costs, they're not. They're not. Their first and only allegiance is to the green crowd, because if they upset the environmental crowd, if they upset the green crowd, the fear is those people and their constitutional right can pool enough votes and people can be defeated easily every 2 years for the State House and State Senate. So make no mistake, their first and in sometimes only, really only objective here is to keep the green crowd off their backs. And every time there's a Republican, or even not have to be a Republican, but say some sort of a bipartisan bill to do something with energy here, the first thing they do is say, oh boy, is this going to upset the greenies? Oh boy. Oh, we can't do this. Why? Well, the whole renewable energy credits thing. Meantime, and the same people will come out at a podium and say, well, we're trying to lower energy costs. No, you're not. You're not. Because if you were making a good faith effort, if you were living up to your constitutional responsibilities of making a good faith effort to serve the people of Connecticut, you would be looking to serve all the good people of Connecticut and not just the green energy crowd.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
A high school basketball coach is now on leave for allegedly shoving a student athlete and using inappropriate language. This situation in Milford now prompts a chat with CIAC Executive Director Glenn Lungarini. Let's talk coaching etiquette coming up tomorrow at 7.
Melissa in the Morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
The Connecticut Lottery reminds you that gambling can be a fun form of entertainment, but it's not risk-free, so it's important to play responsibly. Make sure you understand how the games work. Know the odds, set time limits, and take breaks. To find out more, visit ctlottery.org or responsibleplayct.org. Must be 18 or older to purchase lottery and 21 or older to place sports wagers. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org.
This is Melissa for Stanford Health. When it comes to heart and vascular care, we want the best. And some of the best heart care in the world is right here at Stanford Health, starting with their partnership with Columbia University Irving Medical Center. And Stanford Health isn't just Lower Fairfield County's only open heart surgery program. They're its most extensive cardiac program, period. World-class heart and vascular care is closer to home at Stanford Health. For more, visit stanfordhealth.org/heart.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, construction, exit 40 at the overpass. Stay to the left to get through. Otherwise, working with a wet track out there. Watch your speeds, please. Even getting some reports of patchy fog, too. So your headlights would be helpful as well. I'm Edge Krause with WICC traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Send a text to someone who will actually read them. 203-333-9422. Back to Connecticut Today with Paul Pizzelli on the voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
That's right. The text line is the phone call line, 333-9422. I'm sorry, folks, if I'm acting a little crazy here, but when I read what happened last week, I was off on Friday, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. I mean, come on. This notion by the majority Democrats in Hartford who say, well, we're going to try and lower energy rates. No, you're not lowering energy rates. And every time every time you even come within sniffing distance of something that may help, it's not going to be a cure-all. But the first thing they do in Hartford is to say, hey, is there? Oh, it's a Republican idea. Oh, forget it. No. And look, like I said, I'm not saying if any of the Republican ideas are good ideas, at least have the guts to vote on them. Come on. Well, what are you so afraid of? See, this is, you talk about partisan stuff in Washington. It's worse in Hartford. Trust me. It's worse. How do you know that? How do I know that? All I do is read. I mean, the Democratic majority is, you don't know the long-term effects of this. Well, how about if we try something? I know this is crazy. How about trying something, and if it doesn't work, you stop it? But this has been a theory of mine for years. The people who are most against change are the most fearful it will actually work. Matt kicks us off in Westport. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, Paul, this is, government creates the problem, and you're going to run to them to fix it. We can fix it. We're the government. These prices are by design. All they voted for in the past.
Well,
all these wind turbines. Everyone thinks wind turbines, great renewable energy. It's the wind is free. No, that power costs more to produce, and they've already sold that power. All these wind farms have pre-sold the power. They're not built on spec. They're built on guarantees that they're going to get considerably more. I think it's like a third or more than what the going rate is for kilowatt hour. So when they come online, rates are going to go up more.
And the notion, Matt, that upsets me is that if some of these ideas, okay, maybe coming from the Republican side, maybe they're bad ideas. I get it. I understand that. But to me, when you won't even let people vote on these, when you say, well, we don't think this is the best way to go forward, and you just kill them, Matt, and then the logic they give is the same thing you just said. Well, we have all these projects for the future. I mean, why are we even then discussing this? Honestly, because this is lunacy, as far as I see it. It's lunacy.
Well, they want everyone mad at the utility companies. They want everybody to blame the boogeyman being Eversource and United Illuminating as being the terrible cost to ratepayers, that they're the reason that rates are so high. And it's just like, saying blaming insurance companies and healthcare are the reason that healthcare costs so much. It's an easy target to point at rather than pointing to the actions that they've taken that sound politically wonderful, like more wind and renewables.
Exactly. And Matt, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. And you made a great point there. It's just like health insurance. Well, these health insurance companies, they're the problem. No, they're not the problem. The problem is they're charging because they're for-profit companies that have customers as far as shareholders. And like Matt said, it's the same thing. Why does health insurance cost so much? Because the doctors and the pharma companies and the hospitals, they all want to get paid. Health insurance companies set their rates by what they have to reimburse professionals for. Why is this so hard to understand? 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Now, again, you see here on the energy thing, you've got a bunch of Democrats in Hartford, and I'm sorry, you're just hammering on the Democrats today. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I will continue to do so because no Republican ideas ever see the light of day in Hartford. They don't. You get these disingenuous, pedantic statements from people like Matt Ritter and Martin Looney and Bob Duff, and behind the doors, they laugh at the Republican Party. But you know whose fault that is? It's you people who vote for the same incumbent Democrats year after year after year after year after year. And I'll ask you again, whatever gets better in this state? What are they doing to make things better? Well, we're doing better fiscally, Paul. Yeah, thank you, Ned Lamont, who, by the way, caucuses with Republicans on spending taxes in the budget. But go ahead, keep voting for the same Democrats who were around since freaking Methuselah. Democrat Rep. Jamie Foster Ellington warned against oversimplifying energy reform. Quote, I will never make a promise to my constituents for a silver bullet solution, she said, adding that the proposal from Republicans was fundamentally a cost shift rather than an actual reduction in energy expenses. Yes, Representative Foster, yes, it is a cost shift. And it's shifting the cost from the consumers of electricity in this state who never had a say in some of the asinine programs that the General Assembly has okayed in the past. Yes, Representative Foster, Democrat Ellington, with all due respect, yes, it is a cost shift. Put the public benefits charge in the budget. I have an idea. You'd have plenty of money for that if you weren't worried about expanding Medicaid for illegals. Oh, we can't mention that, though. Can't mention that. They're thinking of expanding Medicaid to the tune of $240 million. Oh, no, but we can't pay the public benefits charge. Why not? Well, because green energy and the earth and greenhouse gases. Oh, my God. Following the debate, the committee took a roll call vote on a motion to add that Republican bill to the agenda. The motion failed, effectively preventing the bill from advancing. What is this nonsense by Republicans? They don't have any good ideas. We're the Democrat literati. We know everything. Democrats pointed to Senate Bill 4, a broader energy reform bill, as the main vehicle for policy challenges. They suggested that, some elements of SB 647 could be considered as part of Senate Bill 4, but they declined to move forward. Senator Norm Needleman, Democrat Essex, he's another one. Co-chair of the committee emphasized the role of nuclear energy in the state's energy strategy. Nuclear is an essential bridge to renewable energy. Yeah, you know what, Senator, with all due respect, an expansion of nuclear energy. Do you know we'll be vacationing on Venus when that happens? Never mind Mars. Mars will be the new Florida for retirees before we get to Venus, and that's when there'll be more nuclear power in Connecticut. Oh, my God. Folks, I'm sorry. I had to open with this today. I mean, I read this garbage from the end of the week, whatever. And again, please understand this. I'm not saying that anything or everything or anything at all from Republicans is a good idea. At least bring it to the floor for a vote. But they don't want to do that because they're fearful of you and you, the voter. Because this isn't 1970 anymore. You can log on at night with a hot cup of coffee and say, hey, this energy bill, well, look at this. I hope my guy or my gal votes for this. They don't. That's their worst nightmare. Do you understand this? That's the worst nightmare of the majority in Hartford because enough people knew it and they killed tolls, right? Because of you killed tolls because of you folks out there and shows like this and other places around the state. We told you about that public benefits charge and the nightmare for the you need to sit out and shut up crowd is knowledgeable voters.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, construction, exit 40 at the overpass. Stay to the left to get through. Otherwise, working with a wet track out there. Watch your speeds, please. Even getting some reports of patchy fog, too. So your headlights would be helpful as well. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely. And you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to BetterNestEgg.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli.
All right, coming up after the news, not now, but at the bottom of the hour, around 3:35, good friend of the radio station here, Republican State Senate member Ryan Fazio, of Greenwich, is going to join us. Now, Ryan was right in the middle of this last week. He's the ranking member, the highest-ranking Republican on the Energy and Technology Committee. So we'll talk to him about this lunacy. If you have a question or a concern you want me to voice or ask Ryan, text those questions now, or just maybe an explanation on something you want. You can text them to me. I'll read it out right here off the screen, 203-333-9422. 203-333-9422. 9422. And we come off a session here as we're starting to get late in the legislative doings in Hartford because they have to do the budget and everything. But again, here we had some ideas, including getting rid of that public benefits charge to make your energy bill cheaper, to which the Democrats said no. The Republicans said yes. The Democrats said no, so we'll get to that coming up again.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. A federal judge wants to know whether the Trump administration ignored his order not to transfer more than 200 migrants to El Salvador over the weekend. CBS's Matt Piper has the latest.
The White House says it is wholly confident of winning in court after a judge ordered a hearing over the deportation of alleged members of a Venezuelan gang under wartime legislation. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
All of the planes subject to the written order of this judge departed U.S. soil, U.S. territory before the judge's written order.
But there was also a verbal order from that D.C. federal judge for any planes to turn around.
There's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
The ACLU's Lee Gellert on the president's use of the Alien Enemies Act.
It's as unprecedented as it is lawless. The law is crystal clear that it can only be used in a declared war.
It's only been used 3 times in U.S. history, the War of 1812 and both World Wars. The Kremlin has confirmed President Putin will speak to President Trump tomorrow. Trump says Ukraine is on the agenda. At the White House, spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt didn't offer many details.
He will be speaking to President Putin tomorrow. I won't get ahead of those negotiations, but I can say we are on the 10th yard line of peace.
President Trump is at the Kennedy Center this hour as WICC reports.
This is the first board meeting for the Kennedy Center since the president dissolved the board of directors and put in all of his fierce loyalists and people that he wanted. He also named himself the chairman.
Among his complaints, drag shows at the venue. Windy conditions continue to cause problems in areas that suffered severe weather over the weekend in Fredericksburg, Texas. Spokesman Sean Dorr.
The wind right now is not our friend. That's what's causing these embers to fly and flare-ups to happen.
A series of storms kicked up wildfires, tornadoes, and dust while barreling across 7 states. 40 people were killed. CBS's Jill Schlesinger has the latest report on the economy.
Retail sales increased by just 0.2% on the month. That's a lot lower than the 0.6% increase that economists were expecting. Companies like Dollar General, Walmart, Costco, Kohl's, and Macy's have already said that they are seeing consumers pull back on their spending.
It is St. Patrick's Day with parades and celebrations across the country. In New York, one of the largest and oldest parades along Fifth Avenue. Many cities held their parades over the weekend. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials currently up 461 points. The other indexes are up as well. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Unbelievable.
All right. Those are the sounds of tax accountants rejoicing after experiencing the power of Blue Jay, the leading generative AI solution for tax research. Tax season is here, and if you're an accounting firm, the pressure is on. Long hours and tight deadlines make this time of year a challenge for even the most seasoned tax professionals. So, tax accountants, here's your solution. Blue Jay, the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. Ask a complex tax question, and Blue Jay gives you better tax answers in seconds. Save time and maximize your clients' refunds with high-speed, accurate, and intuitive AI technology built with a library of only the most trusted tax resources, updated daily to keep up with changes in tax. For a limited time, save 40% off at bluejay.com/start now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text taxes to 511-511. Blue Jay, generative AI for better tax answers. Text taxes to 511-511 today. Tax fees may apply.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Governor Ned Lamont is worried that cuts by the Trump administration could lead it to a fiscal crisis in Connecticut. Lamont says the state's budget should be in good shape for the rest of the current fiscal year that ends June 30th. However, the governor says the uncertainty over huge spending cuts ordered by the Trump administration could lead to issues crafting the upcoming two-year budget package. Connecticut Congressman John Larson last week also had some harsh words for the administration, particularly regarding Elon Musk, after the billionaire failed to appear at a hearing concerning the Department of Government Efficiency.
I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security.
100 people gathered on West Main Street in Stamford yesterday to protest actions taken by the Trump administration, including but not limited to Elon Musk's involvement. The protest was peaceful and was one of several that took place across the country, with many others taking place at Tesla showrooms. News 12 reported that another protest was scheduled for Saturday, April 5th, in front of the Stamford government building. And both Connecticut U.S. senators voted against the funding bill that was passed by the Senate on Friday. Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy opposed the measure that continues funding the U.S. government through September 30th. Blumenthal says the Republican bill slashes billions of dollars from the community budgets for police officers, firefighters, and teachers, and for critical research. Murphy says this bill makes changes to law that will make it easier for President Donald Trump to implement his plan to destroy the country. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound in Milford, accident reported. Exit 36 has things backing up towards the Moses Wheeler Bridge. Further ahead, heavy residual delays going through Orange and West Haven because of earlier problems that have been cleared. Lower Fairfield County on 95 north, you've got congestion delays getting through Stamford and again going through Fairfield. Parkway overall is your best bet. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection, backup, and business phone, all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Once again, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Call or text. You can text to that number as well, 333-9422. Ryan Fazio, Republican, State Senate member Greenwich, coming up after the news, bottom of the hour, because I want to talk to him about what I was starting the show with earlier, is that to me, and I will change my tune on this when I see evidence that I should change my tune on this, but I'm not. How can anybody logically say, watching what goes on at the state capitol here, and when I mean watching, I don't mean going to the chamber or sitting there stapled to CTN or whatever, but my God, every time there is a Republican idea on anything in this state, virtually anything, guns, abortion, taxes, energy, things like that. I mean, voting, right? They do it on voting security too. Non-starter, or you get this from Martin Looney all the time. This, he always does this, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. But if there are serious, how do they say it? It's another way to. It's another kind of way to flick dandruff off the shoulder. Oh, if the Republicans have any serious proposals, I mean, why even bother? Why even bother? And I know why the Republican lawmakers do it, and God bless them. But my God, this would have been so different. And you know where the shift in this came from? I can tell you exactly where the shift in this came from. When Donald Trump was elected first in 2016, during that session, during that electoral cycle, there was an 18-18 tie in the state Senate. And the gap between Democrats and Republicans in the state House was something like 7, 8, or 9 seats. And people were finally waking up in this state after decades saying, hey, we need better balance in Hartford. I mean, think about that. And the state Senate now was like 25-11 Democrat. And the gap in the House is like 40 or 45 seats. Well, the House was almost tied, and the state Senate was tied. In fact, if you look back then, there were a couple of conservative Democrats who voted with Republicans on the budget. You know what changed? For some reason, and I still cannot fathom this, there were people that voted to tie the state Senate at 18-18. But the next cycle, they voted Democratic again because they took it out on state Republicans because Donald Trump got elected. And that is a level of voter stupidity that I still cannot fathom. Why am I saying that? Well, it's simple. What are you taking stuff out on state-level Republicans for concerning Donald Trump? I don't know whether you knew, but nothing that happens here in Connecticut has anything to do with the Trump White House, whether you like him or not. So, again, the next cycle after 2016 and 2018, look at the shift. Oh, my God, I'm not going to vote for the party that elected Donald Trump. Okay, so you then voted, by going back to vote for Democrats again, you then voted for higher taxes, a more laissez-faire attitude on crime, hamstringing the police officers. It's mind-numbing. And higher energy prices as well. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. And I don't think I'm out on a limb saying that. Because what did we just see that kind of culminated in Hartford last week? We saw, oh my God, when people finally found out and realized what the public benefits charge was a bunch of months ago. Everybody, oh my God, everybody in Hartford, all the Democrats, oh geez, well, we're trying here. We're going to, well, this is a good starting point. It's not, nothing's going to start. Nothing's going to change. I ask that question again and again and again and again. You tell me whatever really gets better in this state. Do electricity rates ever come down? No. Do taxes ever really come down? No. Do our school education scores ever really go up appreciably? No. Does our infrastructure ever get a lot better here appreciably? No. I mean, let's think about it, though. We're spending $600 million on one traffic interchange in Meriden. $500 or $600 million on new ramps and approaches for Route 68, I-91, and Route 15. $500 million. A lot of union jobs, a lot of union guys and gals happy about that one. So listen, folks, I hate to tell you, your electricity, your energy bills are not coming down anytime soon. And you know why? Because the Democratic majority doesn't care.
Put your finest green on and join WICC at the biggest and best St. Patrick's Day parades this season. This Sunday, March 23rd, join WICC at the Greenwich St. Patrick's Day Parade, starting at 2. Get parade routes at voiceofct.com. Then load up on corned beef and cabbage and bring your entire family to enjoy floats, marching bands, and all this St. Patty's Day fun with WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Chances are this has happened to you. You're driving in the rain and then, yeah, you meant to get those wipers replaced, but it was another one of those things you just let go, and then it was too late. Planning for retirement is a lot like those wipers. If you don't plan ahead, well, this happens. David Gagnon has been helping people plan ahead for retirement for over 3 decades. He can help you with financial surprises that pop up, like taxes on your Social Security check, sky-high Medicare premiums, income that doesn't keep up with inflation, and of course, losing money in a market downturn. Call David today for a free consultation. 203-872-0009. That's 203-872-0009. And make sure your retirement works like this and not like this. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance, including annuities. Licensed in Connecticut.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Connecticut paid leave, making time for life's most important moments.
To recover from illness or injury.
To give your employees peace of mind.
To welcome home an active duty service member.
To help a loved one get better.
To get help for your mental health.
To welcome a new addition to your family.
To leave an unsafe home.
Learn more about accessing the benefits of Connecticut paid leave. Visit ctpaidleave.org.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound in Milford, accident reported. Exit 36 has things backing up towards the Moses Wheeler Bridge. Further ahead, heavy residual delays going through Orange and West Haven because of earlier problems that have been cleared. Lower Fairfield County on 95 North, you've got congestion delays getting through Stamford and again going through Fairfield. Parkway overall is your best bet. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection, backup, and business phone, all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. And then Krause with WICC traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Sometimes a text is just easier. Text 203-333-9422. Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli. WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
And the search goes on for answers here in this Waterbury situation. My God, the more you think about this, the more horrible this becomes. We're talking about that guy who was rescued a couple of weeks ago from a fire at a home that he said he started. Apparently, the guy was rescued. He's 5'9", and he weighed 69 pounds when he was rescued. Oh, my God. Now, listen. I know the stepmother's been charged and this and the other, and the father died or whatever, but you talk about depravity. What kind of... I got to be careful here. Innocent till proven guilty. I get it, but good God. What could drive human beings to do that to someone? And again, I know she hasn't gone through the court case, but what the public information has been locks on both sides of the door. Oh, my God. Medical personnel, this is a CBS News story here. And here's the key thing. Somebody dropped the ball on this. They had to. And now you're getting more details leaking out about this. Medical personnel said the man was near starvation and had wasting syndrome, a condition of weight loss and muscle deterioration. 20 years. The arrest warrant says at 5'9", he weighed 69 pounds. 5'9". I had a couple of people text me last week saying that, wait a minute, they considered that they had grandkids who were in the 4th and 5th grade, maybe the 4th grade, weighing 70 or 75 pounds. Oh, my God. Says here the man was treated for smoke inhalation, diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Geez, I would think. And depression, you think? The Waterbury Police Chief Fernando Spagnuolo said the man faces a long road of physical and mental treatment. Police are supporting him, including taking up a collection to buy clothes and other items. Now, now you're starting, and what do I always say? Things like this, things in life rarely happen out of a vacuum. There's always a trail of evidence beforehand. The man told police he was constantly hungry when he was in school. So we're talking about 20 years ago, so we're talking about, early 2000s. When he was in school, he would ask classmates for food. He would steal food, and he would eat out of the garbage. Nobody saw that. Nobody said anything. And I know DCF says, well, they're trying to figure out if they have records on this. How hard is that? Come on. Seriously, how hard is that? And if it is hard, that's a reflection on your record keeping. Ladies, gentlemen at DCF, I'm sorry, but it just is. If I ran an agency like that, don't you think I'd keep it spotless as far as records? Who spoke to whom about which kid when? It's not hard. We put a man on the moon in 1969. We can keep records. When he was in school, he would ask classmates for food. Now, we all used to ask kids for food, steal somebody's cookie when they weren't looking. This is not, and the thing is, here's the thing, people remember it. That's it. If this was just incidental, nobody would remember this, but we're getting now dribs and drabs of information that, yes, they remember this. In later years, he says, when he was out of school, and by the way, did anybody know the guy was out of school? I mean, I don't know whether this is still in the scholastic years or not. He would get 2 sandwiches a day and some water while he was locked in this room. Oh, my God. The only police interactions with the family were 2005, the chief says. One was a welfare check after children who attended school with him before he was pulled expressed concern about him. So you had kids. You had kids who were in school with him, I guess, telling the teachers or telling administrators, hey, there's something wrong here. God bless the kids. They realized it. The second and final time was after the family made a harassment complaint against school officials for reporting them to state child welfare officials. Officers went to the home, said they spoke to the man, then a child, and reported there was no cause for concern. Officials with the State Department of Children and Families, DCF, which investigates child abuse, said Thursday, this is last Thursday, that they have not found any records of agency involvement with the family, but we're continuing to look. They added that reports or neglect of abuse deemed unsubstantiated are erased after 5 years. Now, why are they erased? Just seriously. Because you found them unsubstantiated? Does that mean they didn't happen? Boy, we love to do that in society. Well, fresh start, let's erase. See, I'm not for erasing anything that actually happened. It can be put into a different category, but come on. When the man attended a Waterbury elementary school as a child, staff members saw that he was extremely small and thin and made multiple calls to the stepmom and the Department of Children and Families. So this is that former principal, Tom Pannone. The chief said police did not have that information when they responded to the man's house in 2005. So there you go. So Early on, they knew what was happening, but because of screw-ups here, and I'm sorry, it's a screw-up. It's a screw-up. When you had the principal of the school, you had other people concerned, you had the kids concerned, and look what happened to this guy. Oh, my God. This is why I could never be governor or a leader of a State Department. Man, heads would roll like you wouldn't know. Frank in Trumbull's here. Hello, Frank. How are you?
Hey, Paul. Good to talk to you, man. You have nothing to be, sorry for saying that, innocent until proven guilty. This is one of the most disturbing cases of abuse I've ever heard of. And I've lived a long time. But there's got to be so many people to blame here. You're right. You're totally right. And people should be held accountable. In a case like that, it's disgusting.
I mean, Frank, think about now this story that I read here said even the kids were going to the teachers, apparently, and to the staffers saying, hey, there's something wrong with so-and-so here. My God, Frank, can you imagine that? When the kids say there's something wrong.
Where are some of those kids' parents? Who's not stepping in?
I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, Frank, thank you.
Waterbury, Connecticut?
Well, yeah, Frank, thank you. And again, at least according to this, and Frank, thanks for the call, at least according to this version I read here on CBS, the kid was eating food out of the garbage. Now, again, the cops say they didn't have all the information that's out. And again, this is the kind of thing that goes on here in the state. Trust me, I have relatives and friends who work for state agencies, and a lot of times because of privacy this, and there's a fear of lawsuits, and this one's a minor and this one's a juvenile. Oh, we can't say anything, but my God. See, it's sad. It looks like, and who knows how this is going to end, but it surely looks like you have a scenario here where part of the information was with Party A, part with Party B, C, and D, and for some reason, it looks like, at least, it really didn't get all connected in the end.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound in Milford, accident reported. Exit 36 has things backing up towards the Moses Wheeler Bridge. Further ahead, heavy residual delays going through Orange and West Haven because of earlier problems that have been cleared. Lower Fairfield County on 95 North, you've got congestion delays getting through Stamford and again going through Fairfield. Parkway overall is your best bet. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection, backup, and business phone, all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. And that's Krause with WICC traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
The following message is brought to you by the Fairfield Law Offices of Elder Law Attorneys Eliasson and Tenor. Online at ConnecticutElderLaw.com. Here is attorney Christine Tenor.
If you are suddenly hurt or seriously ill and can't speak for yourself, what could happen to you and your family and all you care about? Will life-changing decisions be made by strangers? We all face legal, financial, and physical challenges every day at all stages of life. Don't leave important matters to chance. And don't wait until you are elderly. No one can predict what the future holds for us. So even young adults and young couples, everyone, should be prepared for the unexpected. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, the gift of peace of mind.
Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. Eliasson and Tenor, 203-336-2566. Protecting your family's future. Eliasson and Tenor, for peace of mind. 203-336-2566.
Goodwin University is hosting a business and manufacturing career fair on Tuesday, April 1st from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at 3 Pent Road in East Hartford. Connect with employers who are ready to onboard talent like yours. Don't forget to bring your resume for the opportunity to participate in on-the-spot interviews. Interested in attending Goodwin University's Business and Manufacturing Career Fair on April 1st? Register today at goodwin.edu/career services. Walk-ins welcome. We'll see you there.
Do you have questions about real estate? Learn the secrets of real estate investing and get your questions answered during the Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Listen Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 for expert information about real estate investing, downsizing, and improvements before selling. Pat will help turn your real estate dreams into reality. Tune in and call The Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Sunday mornings from 9 to 10, right here on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Dude, I just got this car.
Yeah, sorry, man. Take it to my friend. He can do it for cheap.
Hi, this is Chris from Sono Collision. Don't just go to anybody for your repairs. Choose the best. Remember, you're the one that has to live with the repairs. It's your choice, so pick quality at Sono Collision. Go to sonocollision.com or call 203-939-9955. Your car will thank you.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. There will be a court hearing today on whether the White House ignored a judge's order and went ahead with the deportation of Venezuelan gang members. CBS's Scott McFarlane on what the ACLU wants.
Order the Trump administration turn over information about the flight. When did it take off? When did it land? When did the Trump administration know the order was to turn the plane around?
President Trump and Russian President Putin will speak tomorrow about the war in Ukraine. CBS's Holly Williams is in Kiev.
Some people in this country fear that President Trump may agree to ceasefire terms unacceptable to Ukraine.
CBS's Weijia Jiang reports President Trump is heading to the Kennedy Center shortly for the first time since installing himself as chairman.
He has made clear that he has a new vision for the Kennedy Center, which is world renowned for its arts and performing arts. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
CBS News Brief. I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
A basketball coach at Foreign High School in Milford has been placed on leave after being arrested for an incident at practice last month. Foreign JV basketball coach Joe Mead allegedly shoved a player on his team, swearing at him in front of the rest of the team on February 19th. He also allegedly called the 15-year-old male victim a, quote, 5-time felon. The 67-year-old Mead is charged with breach of peace and is due in Milford Superior Court on March 28th. Residents are being advised to have safe delivery options in which to thwart porch pirates. Guilford police said a red car followed a FedEx delivery truck on Willow Road late Saturday morning. Shortly after a delivery was made, a surveillance video posted on the police department's Facebook page showed a man stealing the package and fleeing. Anyone with additional video of the theft is asked to contact Guilford police. Yale University police this morning issued a request that any unusual or suspicious behavior be reported. 5 juveniles carjacked a delivery truck on Canner Street late last month. No one was hurt, and when the vehicle was later located, anyone with information about the carjacking is asked to contact either New Haven or Yale University police. 3 adults and 3 juveniles have been arrested after Bridgeport police say they were found in a car with guns and drugs. Police conducted a traffic stop on Boston Avenue on Thursday and say firearms were seen by officers inside the car. A search of the vehicle allegedly revealed 2 handguns, including a ghost gun, along with Xanax pills and a large amount of marijuana. The 6 juveniles and young adults are facing various charges. The upcoming class of the Bridgeport Police Academy has been paused over allegations of misconduct. State regulators reportedly ordered the halt to the city's plan for a new class of cadets in June after anonymous complaints of sexual misconduct at the academy. The Police Officer Standards and Training Council gave no specific reason publicly for the decision reached last week. However, Bridgeport Police Chief Roderick Porter has indicated that it involved allegations of sexual misconduct. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and after multiple parades this past weekend, State Police Trooper Dan Hill spoke with WICC this morning about how safe Connecticut drivers were on the roads.
I think the most important thing is there was no fatal or serious injury accidents this weekend, which I'm very, very happy to report. However, we had 30 DUIs over the course from Friday to today. We had over 200 accidents with no injuries, 207 accidents with no injuries, and 21 accidents with minor injuries.
Trooper Hill also pointed out that with today being the actual day of the holiday, state and local police will be on the lookout for impaired drivers and urges everyone to celebrate responsibly. Visitors of Great Island in Darien will soon have more freedom to explore with their dogs. The Town Board of Selectmen unanimously agreed to allow dogs off the paths on Great Island starting June 1st. The presence of dogs on Great Island has been a matter of debate in town for some time. TV 79 in Darien attended a Parks and Rec meeting this past fall where a town-wide survey was cited about residents' concerns.
The first one is concern about ecology and ecologically sensitive areas and the impact that dogs can have on that. The second is a water quality issue because waste is a reality. And then finally, there are people who just say that they're afraid of dogs.
Pet owners will have to keep dogs on a leash while on property and will need to pick up after them as well. The Yale men's basketball team is headed to the NCAA tournament. Yale defeated Cornell to win the Ivy League championship and an automatic bid to the Big Dance. Yale is a 13 seed and is in the NCAA tournament for the fourth time in the last 5 years. The Bulldogs will be traveling to Denver to play 4-seed Texas A&M on Thursday in the first round of the tournament. And the UConn men's and women's basketball teams have received their NCAA tournament assignments. The UConn men's team received an at-large bid as an 8 seed in the West region and will play a first-round game against Oklahoma Friday night. The UConn women are a 2 seed in the Spokane 4 region and will host the first 2 rounds at Gamble Pavilion in Storrs. The Huskies open the tournament against 15 seed Arkansas State on Saturday. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound construction, exit 40. Right lane is out, has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Lower Fairfield County plan on about 40 minutes from Stamford through Fairfield. The Parkway is a little bit easier. On Edge Krause with WICC traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Phones are busy? Text Paul, 203-333-9422. You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli. Now on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, open phones a little bit later on. Any text questions for me or the guests? 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. We opened the program with something I couldn't get to on Friday because I was off or back here raring to go for a full week. Some Republican proposals that didn't even get advanced out of committee in Hartford. It makes my head explode. It should make yours explode, too, regarding energy policy and the so-called promise made by the majority in Hartford to try and make energy bills cheaper. And joining us right now, Republican State Senator Ryan Fazio, who is the ranking Senate member and one of the ranking Republicans on that committee. Hey, Ryan, it's Paul. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. How are you?
Great, Ryan. Thanks for taking the time. Ryan, I don't know, man. I give you credit because some of the stuff I've read in the Current and in the Mirror and in the News Junkie about, Ryan, some of the excuses being made for not even advancing some Republican ideas here on trying to lower electric rates doesn't mean they would work, doesn't mean they would even get a full vote on the floor of the Senate. But the fact that some of these, Ryan, never even made it out of committee, and the reasoning for it, I don't know about you, but it just drives me crazy. So explain to my listeners here what's going on.
Well, I and other House and Senate Republicans co-authored a 6-point plan to try to reduce the sky-high electricity bills that we're having to pay in this state. Among those proposals is to cut the public benefits charge from our electric bill. My argument is that's a hidden tax that funds roughly 50 different government programs, and if those programs should exist, they should be funded through the budget and the existing taxes that we pay, like everything else that's important in our state. Therefore, they would also be vetted every couple of years in public rather than just continuously be funded for decades on end sometimes without kind of being re-examined. Now, that proposal did get a public hearing. We had over 750 people in the state submit testimony in favor of our proposal. I think first and foremost because of the proposal to cut the public benefits tax in the state. I was sitting next to a longtime state representative during that public hearing that lasted like 14 hours. And he said that he can't even remember seeing a proposal, a bill that had so much testimony submitted in favor of it. Unfortunately, that public outcry was not good enough for our Democratic colleagues. They wouldn't put the proposal even on the agenda to get an up or down vote out of the Energy Committee. We tried to make a motion to open up the agenda and force a vote to on the proposal, and the Democrats on the committee voted it down. Listen, hopefully we can still work across the aisle to get something positive done. But this proposal that's been on the table for roughly 2 years that I've been pounding the table on, and other Republicans have been pounding the table on for 2 years to cut the public benefits tax and do more. We know it would lower rates. We know it's long overdue. It's the only proposal on the table that would substantially lower rates, and yet it continues to be rejected by the people in charge of our state.
It drives me crazy, Ryan, and it must be disappointing to you when on this issue and others in Hartford, the majority will come out and say, well, you know, they'll take a look at serious proposals, or they love to use the phrase or the words non-starter. And even other stuff that you had in here regarding allowing utilities to buy cheaper renewable energy credits. I mean, it's mind-numbing, Ryan. And if this is a bad idea, let it come to the floor of the House and Senate for a full vote. But, you know, Ryan, I have said for years and years that the people who fear change the most are the people who are worried the most that it might work. And to me, when I see this, and really, and we can't do this because it'll affect A, B, or C. Well, then, Ryan, where does change come from? Stop making promises if you're not really going to do anything.
That's such a keen observation that sometimes the people who fear change the most are the ones worried that it'll succeed.
Yeah.
This would succeed. Listen, it's good government. It's common sense. We shouldn't be paying for basically statewide $800 million in taxes through our electric bill for over 50 different government programs that don't get regularly re-examined and updated and reapproved by the legislature. I mean, there's an old saying that you would never know how much government you'll never miss. And I think that's exactly the case with this proposal, that if we were to cut a lot of these programs and therefore cut people's electric bills by over $500 per year for the average household, over $500 per year of savings, the programs that would be cut down or be reduced and there would be efficiencies found, we'll never miss those. People are overtaxed in this state. They're overcharged for electricity. The cost of living generally is far too high, and people are crying for a change. And I think that change would be more than welcome. And, you know, all the naysayers about this proposal over 2 years have had over 2 years to offer a positive alternative solution. They haven't. It's about time we try something different. It's about time for a change.
Finally, Ryan, what, if anything, in that committee or in any energy proposals do you think has a good chance, maybe, of coming to a final vote and being approved? Are there maybe one or two things that actually are good ideas that, may have an effect in the long run or not?
I think, listen, I have a good relationship with my Democratic colleagues on the committee. I actually do like them. You know, we have honest disagreements, but we try to find common ground. And I'm hopeful that maybe we'll be able to cut down a few of the public benefits programs in some sort of compromise bill. Maybe we'll be able to add cheaper renewable energy credits to reduce the cost of our bills instead of having these endlessly expensive renewable energy credits.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do more for nuclear. Maybe the governor's office at our urging will do something with the federal government and New York on natural gas. But most likely what would happen is there'll be some compromise legislation that Representative Mara, myself, Senator Needleman, and Representative Steinberg can find where we cut down a few of the public benefits programs for size, maybe make some changes to the renewable portfolio standard to make it slightly more affordable, and maybe reduce some of the subsidies in policy for electric demand that are going to stress our grid in the future. That's what I'm hoping for in a realistic world.
All right, Republican State Senator Ryan Fazio, friend of the station. Ryan, always good to have you on, and we'll chat down the road. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan Fazio there, Greenwich Republican State Senate member. And, yeah, I mean, he's trying. Folks, he's trying. Listen, and you heard what he said. Move that public benefits charge. You see that on your electric bill. He said that's costing some people $500 a year, $400 to $500 a year. You know, $40, $50, $60 a month. Move that off of your electric bill. Put that in the general funding bill and have a debate on it. But see, stuff that's on your electric bill, guess what? It escapes scrutiny.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
A high school basketball coach is now on leave for allegedly shoving a student athlete and using inappropriate language. This situation in Milford now prompts a chat with CIAC Executive Director Glenn Lungarini. Let's talk coaching etiquette coming up tomorrow at 7.
Melissa in the Morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
Hello, my name is Bob Cinto, and I would like to rent you office space. The reason we've done so well is that we put our tenants in front of everything else we do. Your growth is my growth. Your success is my success. And I would love to show you some beautiful properties if you should need space. Thank you.
Start online, SCINTO.com.
Join the Center for Family Justice for Walk a Mile in Her Shoes on Saturday, April 26th in downtown Fairfield. Walk a Mile is a fun and engaging community awareness event that asks men and boys to take their first step to end violence against women and girls. Gather your team, bring your pet, and show your support for victims and survivors of abuse by registering to join in the walk on April 26th. Learn more or register for Walk a Mile in Her Shoes at centerforfamilyjustice.org.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com or in stores at your local CVS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound construction, exit 40. Right lane is out, has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Lower Fairfield County plan on about 40 minutes from Stamford through Fairfield. The Parkway is a little bit easier. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Whatever's on your mind, put it in a text and send it to Paul. 203-333-9422. WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut. Back to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli.
And speaking of that, text line 203-333. 9422-333 WICC. I got this text a little while ago. Hi, Paul. Good afternoon. On another story, could you please bring us up to speed in the Bridgeport ballot stuffing case that the investigation has been suspended? That's disturbing as it was leading toward more people involved in this crime. Why did the investigation stop? All right. Thank you for that text. Important delineation here. The actual absentee ballot kerfluffle here, if you will, that has not been stopped. Okay. We had 5 people, including Wanda Jeter Pataki and 4 others, appear at the state police barracks on an arrest warrant, so they did that. So that state investigation is still ongoing, and it may now be joined by the federal DOJ under the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. That is not what was suspended the other day, because I first saw this headline and I said, what? Then I read a little deeper into it, and you find that what is not being suspended is the overall investigation, so that's good. But, says here, according to the story from Brian Lockhart, this was on Friday, Bridgeport has suspended the investigation into the release of that video. Says here, part of Brian's story, the city of Bridgeport has halted a year-long $148,000 investigation into who released the camera footage that allegedly shows Wanda Jeter Pataki putting multiple absentee ballots into an outdoor collection box. So there were actually 2 investigations going here. One of the actual alleged crime, the absentee ballot harvesting, which is illegal, the absentee ballot stuffing, which is illegal, and then that has spawned all these other possibilities of additional crimes, forcing signatures, things like that, promises for housing. So to the person that texted me this, that is still going on. So there's no way at this point. There's really no way at this point that that's going to stop, because there's too much momentum here. But what the city has been trying to figure out since this happened months and months and months and months ago is who leaked the video, allegedly, of Wanda Jeter Pataki and I guess some other people doing this. Now, the clips were leaked in mid-September of 2023, and remember that eventually, resulted in 2 primaries, 2 elections. So Taisha Toms, the attorney for Bridgeport, saying to avoid spending more taxpayer dollars on an investigation that's unlikely to yield a definitive collusion, Freudian slip, paging Dr. Freud, we've decided to suspend the investigation. It no longer appears to be on track to produce a conclusive answer. So Bridgeport was trying to figure out who leaked the video. Who had access to this video? Were there physical tapes? Or is all this video on a hard disk? You've seen the video. It's all over the state. It's all over the country. It's all over the world. The question is, who leaked the video to get this investigation ongoing? Because understand, if this video was not leaked, we're probably not talking about this case. Yeah, there'd be allegations, but would we really be talking about it? I don't know. Now, to me, it's kind of interesting because, and again, let me get a little technical here on you. If this is digital video, okay, if this is not involving any sort of physical media, DVDs, tapes in the year 2025, I don't think it does. To me, And again, I'm no real whiz on this, but I know enough. I'm enough of a technical nerd to tell you that I would have thought there would have been a digital fingerprint, digital footsteps, if you will, digital footprints, as to say, okay, who has access to this video? To the specific recorders of this video. Does each camera have a specific recorder? Or do all the cameras feed into one central unit? Who is this unit? Are these units, for example, password and username protected? If they are, is there a log of who may have accessed this video? If there's a log there, is there a date or a timestamp on a request, say, copy video from X and X? But again, I guess the city has said they have spent probably on lawyers and investigators almost $150,000, and it's interesting that, again, Taisha Toms says, quote, it no longer appears to be on track to produce a conclusive answer. Now, I'm not putting any sort of ascribing any words to Ms. Toms that she didn't say, but having said that, when you hear a lawyer say a conclusive answer, which is what investigators are looking for, sometimes that means, well, we've got an idea. It might be one of these 2 or 3 people. You don't know, because we can figure out that the video was copied or accessed at a certain time. Therefore, it's got to be one of these people. Maybe they've questioned people who are saying no comment, or they don't recall, or, yeah, I constantly check the video. I didn't give copies. So, look, this is only me saying this. I'm sure this video system did not allow unfettered access to anyone and everyone. So you start with that and you say, okay, who would have had access? Oh, only these 4 people. Then you bring in a forensic person or an IT person to say, okay, look for these sign-ons. Okay. But then the question delves off into, well, whether do we know if and when copies were made of a specific video? Because, again, this was a major question, because would this in and of itself be a crime to release this video, as somebody did to the John Gomes campaign? So to that person that emailed, that texted me, fear not, the overall investigation is still going on, but I guess officials may have reached a dead end into who actually leaked that video.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound construction, exit 40. Right lane is out, has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Lower Fairfield County plan on about 40 minutes from Stamford through Fairfield. The Parkway is a little bit easier. And that's Krause with WICC traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Bjork on WICC.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at Walmart.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to BetterNestEgg.com.
Back to the news and talk, thanks to Smart MLS. Smart Sellers Ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC's 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli.
And upon further examination, the ball crossed the line. No, but upon further examination here in Brian Lockhart's story, The mayor apparently issued a separate statement on Thursday, along with Tom Gaudet, his chief administrative officer. They claim the money spent was not wasted. So you have one of the city's lawyers saying it was a waste of money, the mayor saying it wasn't. Because the investigator here found security vulnerabilities in that video recording system that have since been fixed. The mayor saying, quote, "I've been assured that my concerns about the breaches in security that allow the unauthorized and illegal access to and distribution of sensitive city property has been addressed." Tom Gaudet said, quote, "The city has taken proactive measures as a result of this investigation to make sure something like this doesn't happen again." So that my guess is maybe it wasn't password protected username. Maybe there was just a universal password. And again, my guess is they may have a general idea, but
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The White House says it paid El Salvador $6 million to take over 200 Venezuelans who were deported over the weekend, accused of being gang members. Spokeswoman Caroline Levitt.
We're very grateful to President Bukele and to El Salvador for accepting these heinous monsters where they will face justice.
There is a court hearing next hour to discuss whether the White House ignored a judge's order to halt the deportations. CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez.
Federal judges do have the ability and the legal authority to hold the administration in contempt of court, and that is what potentially the ACLU and the other advocates who are suing over this authority could ask the judge to do.
President Trump said today he will nullify President Biden's pardons because he used an auto pen. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum says that would be highly unusual.
There is no provision that the next occupant of the Oval Office has the right to rescind or revoke those pardons, nor is there any rule that a president must sign the pardon letter with an actual pen.
President Trump will speak with Russia's president tomorrow on ending the war in Ukraine. CBS's Holly Williams is in Kyiv.
Trump said they would discuss land and power plants. Now, Russia is currently occupying around 20% of Ukraine's territory after Vladimir Putin launched a bloody invasion of this country 3 years ago. Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has been occupied by Russian forces since 2022, and fighting in that area has repeatedly raised fears of a nuclear disaster.
There is a massive cleanup underway from the Midwest to the South. Deadly weekend storms sparked wildfires and tornadoes. 40 people were killed. Correspondent Jason Allen is in Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
13 tornadoes that state officials say touched down here. A dozen people were killed. Some of these homes that took a direct hit in this community were picked up and thrown 50 or 60 feet.
Matt Piper reports a man who was accused of hiding a famous pair of ruby slippers didn't make his court date.
Charges against Jerry Hall Silitterman, who allegedly hid a stolen pair of ruby slippers that Judy Garland wore for The Wizard of Oz, have been dropped. It's after the 77-year-old died Sunday. He had been scheduled to plead guilty in court in January, but was hospitalized since and eventually went into hospice care. The slippers were stolen in 2005 from the Judy Garland Museum in Michigan.
Follow the yellow brick road.
In December, they sold at auction for $32.5 million. Matt Piper, CBS News.
On Wall Street, the Dow finished the day 353 points higher. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
A basketball coach at Foreign High School in Milford has been placed on leave after being arrested for an incident at practice last month. Foreign JV basketball coach Joe Mead allegedly shoved a player on his team, swearing at him in front of the rest of the team on February 19th. He also allegedly called the 15-year-old male victim a, quote, 5-time felon. The 67-year-old Mead is charged with breach of peace and is due in Milford Superior Court on March 28th. Both Connecticut U.S. senators voted against the funding bill that was passed by the Senate on Friday. Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy opposed the measure that continues funding the U.S. government through September 30th. Blumenthal says the Republican bill slashes billions of dollars from community budgets for police officers, firefighters, and teachers, and for critical research. Murphy says this bill makes changes to law that will make it easier for President Donald Trump to implement his plan to destroy the country. And visitors of Great Island in Darien will soon have more freedom to explore with their dogs. The Town Board of Selectmen unanimously agreed to allow dogs off the paths on Great Island starting June 1st. The presence of dogs on Great Island has been a matter of debate in town for some time. TV 79 in Darien attended a Parks and Rec meeting this past fall where a town-wide survey was cited about residents' concerns.
The first one is concern about ecology and ecologically sensitive areas and the impact that dogs can have on that. The second is a water quality issue because waste is a reality. And then finally, there are people who just say that they're afraid of dogs.
Pet owners will have to keep dogs on a leash while on property and will need to pick up after them as well. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound construction, exit 40. Right lane is out, has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Lower Fairfield County plan on about 40 minutes from Stamford through Fairfield. The Parkway is a little bit easier. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, back to open phones a little bit later on. Also got some interesting audio for you from the weekend of Connecticut U.S. Senator Chris Murphy, who sounds like he's trying to kneecap Chuck Schumer here, yeah? Well, that's a lot. That's quite an assertion, Paul. Well, you hear the audio I have coming up, and I'll let you figure it out. Right now, though, a couple of minutes on Ukraine, and this is now even a more growing concern than it was months or over the past 3 years with this Russian invasion. A lot of us have friends of Ukraine ancestry or hail from that part of the world. My son and his mom have friends there through an international organization. Joining us right now, teaching professor at the University of Michigan, the author of Beyond Money, the Deportation and Repatriation of the Crimean Tatars. She's an expert on that part of the world. Greta Lynn Hewling is the guest. Her new book, Decolonizing Ukraine, the Indigenous People of Crimea, and Pathways to Freedom. Greta, hi, it's Paul at WICC in Connecticut. How are you?
I'm just fine, thanks.
Your interest in that area and your critical study of that area, where does that come from? Why are you such an expert on this area?
You know, it goes back 30 years. I lived there for a year and a half, you know, starting in the late 90s, and have been doing research ever since. I was a Russian and East European studies major, and I'd never heard of this people, the Crimean Tatars. They're an indigenous people of Ukraine, and their story closely parallels that of the Native Americans in the United States. And so that was what originally drew me to them.
Does any of that have reverberations, Greta, into what's going on today? Is there a thread of that going on, I should say, of that in the Ukraine today or not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my latest book is about, you know, Ukraine's process of ridding itself of the effects of Russian domination. And it is the indigenous people who are both the most affected and provide the moral justification for reclaiming a great deal of the Ukrainian territory because they had an independent statehood there and because of their experiences of dispossession, right? So just as there's a Declaration of Human Rights, there's a Declaration on the rights of indigenous people. That's very important. And then another thing to keep in mind is that they have been the leaders and the architects within the Zelensky administration for thinking through how to demilitarize Crimea and also to think about carefully reintegrating the people who have been occupied by Russian rule for a decade.
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that, Greta. Take us back a decade even more. So let's rewind the tape back when they used to have a thing called tape. Let's rewind the tape here and set up for my audience, how did we get here today where we are with Russian forces in Ukraine, some Ukraine forces in Russia, stuff that happened during the Obama years, stuff that happened post-World War II. How did we get here?
Oh, well, I mean, how we got here, I think a good starting point is 2014. Ukraine is in the midst of a revolution of dignity. People are mobilizing so that Ukraine can develop closer ties with Western Europe. And in the midst of this revolution, Russia feels very threatened by the westward direction that Ukraine appears to be taking and occupies Crimea unlawfully, using completely illegitimate means to control Crimea. So it occupies Crimea, and then, of course, the war in Donbass starts. Now, if we dial back even further, we can recall that in 1994, the United States promised that if Ukrainian sovereign territory was invaded, that we would step in militarily.
I remember that. Yeah.
So here we are. And, you know, at the time Crimea was occupied, there were sanctions, but they weren't particularly robust. And so Putin was essentially encouraged to launch the war over the East. And then, you know, gradually over time, he's gained more and more territory.
Greta Euling is the guest. Name of the book, Decolonizing Ukraine, the Indigenous People of Crimea and Pathways to Freedom. Greta, please stand by. We've got a little business to do here. We'll come back to you. And where do we go from here? And I want to ask Greta about the, you know, things you hear, including like, you know, peace only with land retrieval or land givebacks and what a security guarantee will look like. Doesn't look like this is getting any simpler by the day. More with Greta Euling coming up right here on WICC.
Going out to eat for half the price? There's only one word to describe that. Sweet. It's another week of sweet deals at voiceofct.com. Half-price gift cards to your favorite locally owned restaurants and businesses. But when the sweet deals are gone, they're gone. And they go fast. So don't wait. Stay local and save some dough.
Grab the half-price sweet deals now at voiceofct.com.
Hi, Jonathan Carbuti with Carbuti Real Estate. If you're thinking about selling your home, write this number down, 203-980-6886. Again, that's 203-980-6886. Whether it's a divorce, upsizing, downsizing, or even probate, we can help with any of your real estate needs. We can even give you a cash offer for your home. Call us today and experience the Carbuti difference.
Sell your home smoothly when you call Carbuti. Go to CarBeautyRealEstate.com.
Experience the future of luxury with the all-new electric Escalade IQ, now available at Cadillac of Greenwich. Standard with hands-free driver assistance technology and Super Cruise. The Escalade IQ offers undeniable style and uncompromising comfort with the longest range of any electric vehicle SUV. Arrive in style with this pinnacle of modern automotive excellence. Visit CadillacofGreenwich.com today and elevate your driving experience with the iconic 2025 Cadillac Electric Escalade IQ.
Columbia Dental invites you to come to their Norwalk office for your entire family's dental health. It is their mission to provide you with comprehensive dental care you and your family deserve. Visit Columbia Dental in Norwalk, located at 91 East Avenue, open 5 days a week, or visit their Manchester location at 483 Middle Turnpike West, open 7 days a week. Columbia Dental, here for you and your family for regular checkups or emergency visits. ColumbiaDental.com.
Hi, I'm Lee Gainham, that garden guy from Gainham's Garden Center and Florist in Fairfield. Do you have questions about your garden? Tune into That Garden Guy Sunday mornings at 8 for an hour of lively talk about your favorite pastime. We'll have weekly do's and don'ts and gardening tips of the week for our specific area, and we'll take your phone calls so we can offer solutions to problems you may be having in your lawn and garden right now. Call in and talk with me, That Garden Guy, Sunday mornings at 8 on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text SKINNY to 323232 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text SKINNY to 323232 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SKINNY to 323232. That's SKINNY to 323232. SKINNY to 323232.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 northbound, 45 minutes from Greenwich through Fairfield. Definitely some breaks along the way through. Parkway is using your ride out of New Haven. 95 south, just some extra volume delays through Long Wharf into West Haven and Orange, all stemming from an earlier issue that has been cleared. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection backup and business phone all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. I'm Matt Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
As your day winds down, he's only just getting warmed up. You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
As we try to make sense of a very intricate situation here that people far and wide have some sort of connection to, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, or through some family connections. Greta Lynn Hewling is the guest. Her book, Decolonizing Ukraine, How the Indigenous People of Crimea remade themselves after the Russian occupation. Greta, and I'm sure, God, you're thinking about this 24/7, 365. Where do we go from here? There's so many aspects of this. The White House, Mr. Trump, the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, Volodymyr Zelensky, Europe, the American contingent. How do you think, if in any way this thing stops or gets somewhat solved, if that's even a word, in the short term?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, as you point out, it's a very thorny question. And I think it's imperative, and in the United States' strategic interests, to continue to support Ukraine militarily in becoming, so that they can defend themselves in a very real way, not just, removing the limitations on how they use armaments.
Sure.
So that it can become free, strong, and capable of defending itself. That's really the only point that we should think about stopping support or disengaging. And then, of course, the first item on the agenda for peace is security guarantees, ideally through joining NATO. Now, you could say, well, there's a lot of obstacles to that, and there are that we can talk about, but this really has to do with food security, nuclear security, energy supply, thwarting the potential for even more massive migration, and encouraging war crimes and territorial expansion.
But Vladimir Putin is in the middle of this, and what does he want? Would he stop, do you think, with Crimea, which, again, this happened years ago, but with the amount of land he has here? I mean, what is his ultimate goal? Now, I've watched interviews with him. He clearly, Greta, pines for the old Soviet Union. He's pretty much said that. That I don't think is happening, but what do you think makes him stop here? Because, when you've got thousands of nukes, it kind of lets you write some of the rules, doesn't it?
It does. So what I would say, what he wants is unquestionably to eradicate modern Ukraine as we know it and make it part of Russia.
Yeah.
So that's what he wants. But should he be allowed to do that? Absolutely not. The Russian economy is in worse shape than many people realize.
Oh,
Inflation
sure.
is over 10%. He's had to rely on mercenaries and foreign troops to continue prosecuting this war. And, as the, I think that our leverage, we should seek ways to increase our leverage rather than relinquishing it. So, one of the problems is both the Constitution of Ukraine and Russia lay claim to some of the same territory.
Yeah.
Significant groups in both countries strictly oppose any territorial or political compromise. And one of the ways that I like to think about it is in more of a stepwise fashion, right? With the first objective being not just the ceasefire, but the security guarantee.
Yeah.
The second step, and then a second step is actually not recognizing any of the Russian occupied territories as Russian officially, maintaining our focus that those are contested territories that Ukraine under international law has sovereignty over, right? And that would enable us to, at a later date, perhaps not this week or next or even next year, be in a better position on a long-term basis to see those territories return to Ukraine.
So are we looking at maybe, and I've thought this, Greta, are we looking maybe at short-term, long-term, as you say, a situation that we kind of in a similar way have with the Koreas here, where you have both sides maybe staring down each other in an eventual hope that there can be some sort of reunification, like we're looking at the Koreas, or we can have a settlement over disputed land? Because I think when people hear the words security guarantees, they kind of ask, Greta, don't they? Well, what does that mean?
Well, I appreciate your comparison. I think that's super interesting. Thank you for raising that. And I think really the only reason that we can't the one key difference between the Koreas is precisely Putin's expansionist philosophy. When he gets done swallowing Ukraine, he will move on to other countries like Moldova and the Baltic countries of Latvia and Lithuania. He's already making inroads into Georgia, right? And so Western Europe is rightly concerned that the joke inside the Russian army is, we're going to stop when we reach Berlin. It's only partially facetious.
Jeez, man,
it's only part, and that's the difference, right? Is this expansionist objective?
Yeah, I thought we had passed that in history. Thanks so much, Greta. The name of the book, Decolonizing Ukraine, How the Indigenous People of Crimea Remade Themselves After Russian Occupation. Greta Lind Hewling. Greta, thanks so much. Good luck with the book, and hopefully we can chat down the road. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Greta Hewling. Uehling. Decolonizing the Ukraine, How the Indigenous People of Crimea Remade Themselves After Russian Occupation. And that's the key aspect here, kids. That's the key aspect. You say, well, we got to have a peace treaty and we have to stop this. Well, how do you know? How do you know? It's a simple question. I don't know what the answer is. How do you know Putin is going to stop? I mean, understand something. Gorbachev stopped at one time. Andropov stopped. He's doing the opposite. And believe me, I know he's not right. I'm not apologizing for this guy, please. But I don't know. How long does this go on? And by the way, her website is GretaHewling.com, GretaHewling, Greta Hewling. The book again, Decolonizing Ukraine, the Indigenous People of Crimea, and Pathways to Freedom. And the argument she gave is the one that you hear from people who are saying don't become isolationists. What happens? And I don't know what the answer to this is. I don't. What happened if Putin says, well, we'll take the rest of Ukraine. Thank you, Poland. You're next. Come on down. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC, 600 AM, 95.9 FM, and online at voiceofct.com as we continue on Connecticut Today.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, 45 minutes from Greenwich through Fairfield. Definitely some breaks along the way through. Parkway is the easier ride out of New Haven. 95 south, just some extra volume delays through Long Wharf into West Haven and Orange, all stemming from an earlier issue that has been cleared. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection backup and business phone all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. I'm Edge Krause at WICC Traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Ramadan Mubarak, from the AB's Falafel family to yours. Life's busier and crazier than ever, and nothing is more disappointing than a lousy meal. But you'll always have a great meal at family-owned AB's Falafel. AB's Falafel is consistently voted best Middle Eastern food in Connecticut. At AB's, you'll enjoy the freshest and most flavorful falafel, kebabs, salads, and shawarma, all made with care from family recipes. From the AB's Falafel family to yours, Ramadan Mubarak. Merrick, 10 Broadway Road, Trumbull, and abiesfalafel.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's ALL to 321-321.
Join us at Maritime Chevrolet of Fairfield and take advantage of our special Blazer EV retired service loaner fleet. Lease with $3,000 down for only $190 a month. Experience all-wheel drive and up to 279 miles of range only at MaritimeChevy.com.
Stock number 24288, 2012 miles, 10K miles per year, 24 months lease. Primary lender must approve. Excludes tax, reg, and dealer conveyance fee of $7.99.
Hi, I'm Peter from Donut Delight. Donut Delight has used Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning since 1994. From installing plumbing in our new stores to maintaining our existing stores and our personal homes. Their guys have always been very professional and great to work with. Donut Delight has been very happy with Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Looking for a reliable plumbing or HVAC company? Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC has proven customer satisfaction since 1974. Go to BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. The White House today defended the deportation of hundreds of migrants, even as a judge ordered it be halted. Many were Venezuelans said to be gang members.
These are heinous monsters, rapists, murderers, kidnappers, sexual assaulters, predators who have no right to be in this country, and they must be held accountable.
President Trump says he'll annul President Biden's pardons because Biden used an auto pen. CBS's Jake Rosen.
Presidents have done this for years, and many things that presidents do when you're signing dozens and hundreds potentially of documents a day are not all signed with an actual paper and pen and scanned into the government record.
There's a massive cleanup ahead for the Midwest and South after the deadly weekend storms. Ken Hamilton lives in Oklahoma, where more than 400 homes were destroyed.
I thank God I'm alive. This can be replaced.
40 people were killed after the storms kicked up wildfires, tornadoes, and dust across 7 states. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The upcoming class of the Bridgeport Police Academy has been paused over allegations of misconduct. State regulators reportedly ordered the halt to the city's plan for a new class of cadets in June after anonymous complaints of sexual misconduct at the academy. The Police Officer Standards and Training Council gave no specific reason publicly for the decision reached last week. However, Bridgeport Police Chief Roderick Porter has indicated that it involved allegations of sexual misconduct. 3 adults and 3 juveniles have been arrested after Bridgeport police say they were found in a car with guns and drugs. Police conducted a traffic stop on Boston Avenue on Thursday and say firearms were seen by officers inside the car. A search of the vehicle allegedly revealed 2 handguns, including a ghost gun, along with Xanax pills and a large amount of marijuana. The 6 juveniles and young adults are facing various charges. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and after multiple parades this past weekend, State Police Trooper Dan Hill spoke with WICC this morning about how safe Connecticut drivers were on the roads.
I think the most important thing is there was no fatal or serious injury accidents this weekend, which I'm very, very happy to report. However, we had 30 DUIs over the course from Friday to today. We had over 200 accidents with no injuries, 207 accidents with no injuries, and 21 accidents with minor injuries.
Trooper Hill also pointed out that with today being the actual day of the holiday, State and local police will be on the lookout for impaired drivers and urges everyone to celebrate responsibly. Yale University police this morning issued a request that any unusual or suspicious behavior be reported. 5 juveniles carjacked a delivery truck on Canner Street late last month. No one was hurt, and the vehicle was later located. Anyone with information about the carjacking is asked to contact either New Haven or Yale University police. Residents are being advised to have safe delivery options in which to thwart porch pirates. This past weekend, Guilford police said a red car followed a FedEx delivery truck on Willow Road. This occurred late Saturday morning. Shortly after a delivery was made, a surveillance video posted on the police department's Facebook page showed a man stealing the package and fleeing. Anyone with additional video of the theft is asked to contact Guilford police. Governor Ned Lamont is worried that cuts by the Trump administration could lead to a fiscal crisis in Connecticut. Lamont says the state's budget should be in good shape for the rest of the current fiscal year that ends June 30th. However, the governor says the uncertainty over huge spending cuts ordered by the Trump administration could lead to issues crafting the upcoming 2-year budget package. Connecticut Congressman John Larson also had harsh words for the administration, particularly regarding Elon Musk. This after the tech billionaire failed to appear at a hearing concerning the Department of Government Efficiency.
I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security.
And the outrage for Musk extended on a local level. 100 people gathered on West Main Street in Stamford yesterday to protest actions taken by the Trump administration, including but not limited to Elon Musk's involvement. The protest was peaceful and was one of several that took place across the country, with many others taking place at Tesla showrooms. News 12 reported that another protest was scheduled for Saturday, April 5th, in front of the Stamford government building. The Yale men's basketball team is headed to the NCAA tournament. Yale defeated Cornell to win the Ivy League championship and an automatic bid to the Big Dance. Yale is a 13 seed and is in the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in the last 5 years. The Bulldogs will be traveling to Denver to play 4-seed Texas A&M on Thursday in the first round of the tournament. And the UConn men's and women's basketball teams have received their NCAA tournament assignments. The UConn men's team received an at-large bid as an 8 seed in the West region and will play a first-round game against Oklahoma Friday night. The UConn women are a 2 seed in the Spokane 4 region and will host the first 2 rounds at Gamble Pavilion in Storrs. The Huskies open the tournament against 15 seed Arkansas State on Saturday. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 northbound, 45 minutes from Greenwich through Fairfield. Definitely some breaks along the way through. Parkway is the easier ride out of New Haven. 95 south, just some extra volume delays through Long Wharf into West Haven and Orange, all stemming from an earlier issue that has been cleared. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection backup and business phone all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Where Southern Connecticut comes for the real story. Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, open phones. You want to call in or text 203-333. 9422-333 WICC 333-9422-333 WICC text or voice, or you can email me Paul Paul at thevoiceofct.com. What did I say a couple of weeks ago? And I've been proven right on this again. Chris Murphy, Connecticut U.S. Senator Chris Murphy. No, he's not the one that will come on and do local radio here on WICC. That's Richard Blumenthal. Mr. Murphy will not come on this radio station, I've been told, for some reason. He is clearly gunning for Chuck Schumer's job as leader of the Senate Democrats. Remember, I told you this a couple of weeks ago. Chris Murphy, and listen, everybody wants to aspire to higher things. I get you. I understand. I still, even at my age, I aspire to higher things in my professional life. But that's okay. Connoisseur has given me numerous good opportunities here. With more to come, I would hope. You know, whatever we like to do, it is what it is. So Chris Murphy is clearly gunning for Chuck Schumer's job. Chris Murphy was apoplectic that the Democratic Party and members of his party voted to okay a Republican budget proposal. Now, they had no leverage. He had to do that. But over the weekend, he was asked on NBC, hey, are in a roundabout way, are you gunning for Chuck Schumer's job here?
Just yes or no before we move on. Do you have confidence in Leader Schumer?
I still support Senator Schumer as leader, but I think the only way that we are going to be effective as a caucus is if we change our tactics, and we have to have a conversation inside our caucus to make sure that we are going to do that.
So let's talk about that. You posted a video explaining your vote, what you called a very difficult moment. Many of your supporters responded online saying you should replace Leader Schumer. Is that something that you would consider? Would you consider that role?
I mean, I don't think anybody's having that conversation right now. What's important is that we meet this moment. And what I'm telling you is that if we continue to observe norms, if we continue to engage in business as usual, this democracy could be gone. I don't think we have a year to save American democracy. I think the way the president is acting, using law enforcement to target dissidents, harassing TV stations and radio stations that criticize him, endorsing political violence, puts our democracy at immediate risk. So if you are a Democrat in the Senate or in the House, you have to start acting with urgency. And that is the conversation that we have to start having inside our caucus.
Our new NBC News poll, as you just saw, shows the Democratic Party at an all-time low approval rating. Why do you think Democrats are failing to connect with Americans at this critical moment of urgency that you described?
Well, it's what I just talked about. I mean, I think Americans want the Democratic Party to stand up and fight and to take risks. Listen, I understand that had we gone into a shutdown, even for a handful of days, it would have been difficult. But it would have sent a message that the Democratic Party is not going to be bullied by Donald Trump. We are not going to let them write spending bills unilaterally that cut programs for people we care about, that give the president new and extraordinary power. I think Democrats in this country, but I think the broad middle of the public as well, want to see our party fighting in exceptional ways. That is the conversation that has to happen inside of the Democratic Party, inside our caucus. And if we don't get that right, if we continue to work with Republicans, if we continue to hand Donald Trump more power, we are going to lose our democracy.
Now, make no mistake. He's gunning for Schumer. He didn't say no. Did you hear that? He's got the word salad thing down. Not as good as Kamala Harris. But he's got the word salad thing down. So listen, but he's missing something. And I'll tell you what he's missing momentarily. Now, again, he's all over the place. You can't get through a Sunday weekend without hearing a little from Chris Murphy, which is fine. I understand he obviously wants to be the Senate Democratic leader. But here's the problem. He doesn't understand why his party is at 29%. Did you hear that? Kristen Welker mentioned it there. There's a new CNN poll. Do you know? Figure this out. Riddle me this. How in God's name, how is the party of Harry Truman, FDR, JFK, LBJ, and Bill Clinton at 29% national approval. Now, the Republicans ain't much better. They're at 36%. But when I went to school, 36 was appreciably higher than 29. So you tell me, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Now, Chris Murphy mostly has this wrong. He may be moving down the road of finally realizing what's going on, but he's not there yet. And he says the problem he says is not policy. He claims that the problem is, you ready for this? Masculinity.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
A high school basketball coach is now on leave for allegedly shoving a student athlete and using inappropriate language. This situation in Milford now prompts a chat with CIAC Executive Director Glenn Lungarini. Let's talk coaching etiquette coming up tomorrow at 7.
Melissa in the Morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
Do you truly understand the impact of taxes on your retirement savings? Would you like to keep more of your hard-earned money? Attend Bridgelight Financial's Taxes and Retirement event, March 18th or 20th at Il Palio in Shelton. It's a free workshop discussing real tax saving strategies. Click BridgelightAdvisors.com and register.
This is Bill Levitt, president of Bridgelight Financial Advisors. We'll show you real tax savings on your savings.
Come to our next event at Il Palio in Shelton. Register today at BridgelightAdvisors.com. BridgelightAdvisors.com.
Dine out for half price. It's a sweet deal week at voiceofct.com. Great local restaurants are offering $50 gift cards for only $25. Go to voiceofct.com, click on the sweet deal banner. Restaurants include AB's Falafel, Little Pub, Joseph's Steakhouse, Twisted Vine, Caloroso Eatery, Gusto, Hair of the Dog, Twin Pines, Sports Center, the Adventure Park, Choice Pet, and more. Buy $50 gift cards for only $25. Go to voiceofct.com, click the Sweet Deals banner.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow. Provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
It's time for the Market Scoreboard Report with Ron and Sana. Now on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
I'm Frank Miller for Ron and Sana. Well, the markets kicked off the week on a strong note with the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P all seeing some solid gains this Monday. Walmart and Goldman Sachs among some of the big gainers on Wall Street. Investors reacting to a flurry of economic news. The Commerce Department said that retail sales were up 0.2% last month. That's after they dropped a revised 1.2% in February. Economists were looking for sales to climb 0.7%. Now, the increase came even despite a continued drop in sales by motor vehicle and parts dealers. Elsewhere, a National Association of Home Builders report showed there was a continued drop by home builder confidence in March. The NAHB Wells Fargo Housing Market Index falling to a reading of 39 after dropping to 42 in February. Economists were looking for the index to remain unchanged. Elsewhere, the Commerce Department said that business inventories were up 0.3% in January after dropping 0.2 back in December. And the Federal Reserve Bank of New York said that regional manufacturing activity fell significantly during the month of March.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem.
Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, 45 minutes. Greenwich through Fairfield. The Parkway is the easier ride. Southbound side 95, some residual delays in Milford and Stratford from an earlier problem that has been cleared. Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Any showers end this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli is back and only on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
So, look, and this fascinates me. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Everybody looks at Donald Trump and says, love the guy, hate the guy, whatever. Okay, that's not the issue. And everybody now is, frosted off about, what Elon Musk is doing, what Trump is doing, this and the other. In the Democratic Party, the party of Bill Clinton, of LBJ, of Barack Obama, pretty successful guys, FDR, Harry Truman, people like that. Did you see over the weekend? Major survey here now from one of the networks, CNN, I think, or MSN or NBC. 29% approval. 29% approval. How is that possible? Now, for some reason, Chris Murphy cannot understand, and a lot of other Democrats out there, and I'm just trying to save your party. I am. Because the further crazy one party goes, that'll make the other party go nuts. Well, I can't believe that Trump won. Well, did you see who you ran in November? She couldn't finish a sentence. Well, Biden dropped out too late. Yeah, you think? So they asked Chris Murphy. That clip I played for you was from NBC yesterday, over the weekend with Kristen Welker. The Atlantic. Is it the Atlantic? I want to make sure in case you want to look at this. But yeah, it's the Atlantic. And it's titled, Democrats Have a Man Problem. The quest to win back the men they lost to MAGA opens a rift over class and gender. Party leaders are struggling to close. Now, they love mentioning class. They love mentioning gender. They never mention policies. Why is that? Well, Trump has made inroads with black Americans, Hispanic Americans, and men. Yeah, you know why? Because the other policies they look at stink. Why can I sit here at 10:04 on Monday, March 17th, in a studio in Milford? Why can I say that and nobody else understands that? Listen to this. Chris Murphy of Connecticut also notes liberals' squeamishness about masculine themes. He says the party is losing male voters in part because even talking about the need to improve the lives of men could run afoul of what he calls the word police. Now, he's partially right there. They're losing, and he is right in the fact that the modern day Democratic Party is not really a friendly place to masculinity. It's not. But that's only part of the reason. And my God, if I hear the term toxic masculinity again, oh, for freak's sake, Stop that. You talk about word pablum, word police. It's okay for a guy to be masculine. Well, geez, Paul, we can't have toxic masculinity. Oh, shut up. And it's okay for a woman to be decidedly feminine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how God made the pieces fit together, if you know what I mean. It's okay. Stop catering to the extremes in each gender. So he's partially right there. But you know how you win him back? You don't win him back with psychobabble about, my God, we just have to improve your lives. No, win them back on policy. Win them back on policy. Hey, a lot of masculine guys voted for Bill Clinton. A lot of masculine guys voted for Barack Obama. A lot of masculine guys voted for LBJ. The difference is policy. You want to drive away masculine guys? Men, keep doing what you were doing on the border. You think guys like that? No. Keep talking down gun rights. If you talk down abortion rights, you think women are going to like that? No. Why do you think men would love you harping on legal gun owners the way you do? Keep talking. Keep doing stupid things. The border is almost free of crossings. It didn't take that long. But my God, there's space. Yeah, you'll get male voters back if you straighten out your policies. So, Senator Murphy, with all due respect here, with you sitting there saying, well, it's masculinity. Well, maybe masculine guys think your party sucks. Did you ever think of that, Senator? I'm pretty sure there were some pretty masculine dudes out there that liked Bill Clinton, that liked Barack Obama, who, by the way, while we're on the subject of the border, he deported a heck of a lot of people out there. You think masculine men in America voted for LBJ, huh? You think any masculine men voted for FDR or Harry Truman? Yeah? You think? But my God, stop overthinking this. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-numbing. Well, we need to tell masculine men that it's okay. No, they know it's okay. They're telling you your party stinks. Explain to me how the Democratic Party is at 29%. Think of that. How is that possible? You tell me. 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Explain to me how the Democratic Party in the United States of America, the great party of Democrats, is now at 29%. I thought you guys and gals had all the answers. And look, the Republicans ain't much better. They're at 36%. Text me 203-333-9422 or call. Or we have a Facebook question today, facebook.com/voice of CT. I put it up there. Look at these numbers. Why do you think they're so low? Now, again, we're in a country where you're never going to really get to 50%. I understand it. But my God, you Democrats here, wake up. You're so upset with Trump. You know why we got Trump, don't you? Oh, you don't? I have an idea. Maybe you should take a look in the mirror.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, 45 minutes. Greenwich through Fairfield. The Parkway is the easier ride. Southbound side 95, some residual delays in Milford and Stratford from an earlier problem that has been cleared. Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Bjork on WICC.
Discover the finest flooring in Southern Connecticut at Courtesy Carpet. With over 50 years experience, we've got your flooring needs covered. From intricate area rugs, durable vinyl and laminate to elegant stair runners. Shop anywhere, but make sure to see us before you buy. Visit courtesycarpet.com to explore our extensive selection. Visit Ellen, Jay, and the team at Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. Trust us, the experts in quality flooring. Because at Courtesy Carpet, your satisfaction is our courtesy.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to betternestegg.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart Sellers Ask. Is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli.
Tell you one thing Chris Murphy is right about. He gave this quote to The Atlantic. There is a reluctance inside the progressive movement to squarely acknowledge gender differences. And that's put us on the back foot. Well, yeah, Senator, you're right there. But here's the point. You're always going to have the nutcases in your party who will keep doing this. So you're not going to get them to shut up. You won't. Just the way there are crackpots on the right, too, that won't shut up. So what you do is you win the middle of the country who don't listen to this stuff, and you win them on policy. You get tough on the border. You don't take a dump on gun owners. You don't vote yes without even stopping the consideration on every abortion measure. You don't attack on to every transgender athlete out there and make him or her a cause célèbre. You don't do that. Now, you can do that, and you're going to continue to lose. So he says it's a masculinity problem. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. But listen, just come up with policies that people like. Come up with policies that people say, hey, that's a pretty good idea. I like that more than the Republicans are doing, and you win. And stop listening, Senator, and all you Democrats out there, to the cackling fools in your party who generally emanate from New York, D.C., and L.A. Think about the middle of these great United States of America. You're still going to get the voter in New York. It's that voter in Kansas and Missouri that you need.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There's an important phone call scheduled for tomorrow morning between President Trump and Russian President Putin on ending the war in Ukraine. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt.
We are on the 10th yard line of peace, and we've never been closer to a peace deal than we are in this moment. And the president, as you know, is determined to get one done.
CBS's Holly Williams is in Kiev, where there is nervous anticipation.
They'll be talking about land and power plants. Now, to give you some context for that, Russia currently occupies around 20% of Ukrainian territory, and that includes the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. And fighting in that area has frequently sparked fears of a nuclear disaster during this war.
At this hour, a federal judge was to hear arguments about whether the White House ignored his order to halt the deportation of hundreds of migrants over the weekend. CBS's Scott McFarlane is following.
Attorneys representing those with connections to Venezuela who are challenging the president's use of the Alien Enemies Act have asked federal judge James Boasberg here in Washington to order the Trump administration detail when the flight took off, when the flight landed in El Salvador, and whether it violated the judge's order.
The Department of Justice wants the judge removed. President Trump says he will nullify President Biden's pardons because Biden used an auto pen. Legal analyst Laurie Levinson.
This is just a spurious claim by Donald Trump to try to scare those individuals who got the preemptive pardons at the end of the Biden administration.
Many of the pardons were designed to protect people from retaliation by Trump. There are some new developments in the death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. Matt Piper has that.
Gene Hackman's wife, Betsy, called a medical concierge service in New Mexico a day after authorities previously reported her last known activity. It was 2 weeks before she and Hackman were found dead in their home. She was last seen shopping on February 11th. Cell phone records show she made 3 calls the next morning to that medical service. They called back in the afternoon, but she never answered. Investigators say he died of heart disease. She from a rare respiratory illness spread mainly by rodents. Matt Piper, CBS News.
President Trump says he will hold Iran directly responsible for any future attacks by Yemen's Houthi rebels. And Charlie Daggett reports from the Pentagon the U.S. has stepped up its deterrence.
What we're seeing now is an escalation. And Defense Secretary Hegseth said yesterday there will be an unrelenting attack on the Houthis. We've been given a sort of indication that this might just be the first salvo of what might be an extended campaign.
The Houthis have been attacking ships in the Red Sea. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The upcoming class of the Bridgeport Police Academy has been paused over allegations of misconduct. State regulators reportedly ordered the halt to the city's plan for a new class of cadets in June after anonymous complaints of sexual misconduct at the academy. The Police Officer Standards and Training Council gave no specific reason publicly for the decision reached last week. However, Bridgeport Police Chief Roderick Porter has indicated that it involved allegations of sexual misconduct. 3 adults and 3 juveniles have been arrested after Bridgeport police say they were found in a car with guns and drugs. Police conducted a traffic stop on Boston Avenue on Thursday and say firearms were seen by officers inside the car. A search of the vehicle allegedly revealed 2 handguns, including a ghost gun, along with Xanax pills and a large amount of marijuana. The 6 juveniles and young adults are facing various charges. A basketball coach at Foreign High School in Milford has been placed on leave after being arrested for an incident at practice last month. Foreign JV basketball coach Joe Meade allegedly shoved a player on his team, swearing at him in front of the rest of the team on February 19th. He also allegedly called the 15-year-old male victim a, quote, 5-time felon. The 67-year-old Meade is charged with breach of peace and is due in Milford Superior Court on March 28th. And the Yale men's basketball team is headed to the NCAA tournament. Yale defeated Cornell to win the Ivy League championship and an automatic bid to the Big Dance. Yale is a 13 seed and is in the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in the last 5 years. The Bulldogs will be traveling to Denver to play 4-seed Texas A&M on Thursday in the first round of the tournament. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, 45 minutes, Greenwich through Fairfield. The Parkway is the easier ride. Southbound side 95, some residual delays in Milford and Stratford from an earlier problem that has been cleared. Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Any showers and this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. Another case here. Apparently, there's a hearing going on now on whether the White House defied this judge's deportation order. I got to tell you something. In the court of public opinion, they're going to lose on this one. And this is the thing with those Tren de Aragua guys were deported back to Venezuela. I guess we paid Venezuela like $6 million to take these dirtbags off our hands. These aren't innocent migrants looking for a better life. These are gang members. And remember when the Democrats told us, oh, no, there's no, this, they are out there. So, again, one thing Trump does, and you may hate him for this, this time around, as opposed to the first time he won, he's really keeping his opponents off balance now. And he understands that if you hit them with flurries of punches, it's tough. Now, you know what he just announced in the past few minutes? Now, they could be a lot of nothing, but I guess I see here he's going to release 80,000 pages of the JFK assassination files tomorrow. Could be something in there, probably not. But again, this is how he manipulates the news cycle. 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. And again, if this court battle goes on over these Venezuelans, you may hate, you may despise Donald Trump. What he's going to tell you is, hey, these are gang members. Even Venezuela admitted these are gang members. Now, the critics of this, they will argue, is quite proper with the use of this 1798 law. Here's the deal. 98% of middle America won't care. They will say, well, wait a minute. We're arguing over gang members here? And there'll be people saying, yeah, but you know, that this could be turned on regular Americans. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, for God's sake, stop. I'm not telling you you have to enjoy this, but you watch. This is the way this is going to play out. Just the way I said Chris Murphy is trying to kneecap Chuck Schumer here. And to that response, I got an email here. Hi, Paul. Time for the Democratic Party to push the envelope in politics. Good guys finish last. Chris Murphy is right. It's time for Schumer to go next time around. And if Murphy is the replacement, so be it. Also, maybe the reason Murphy doesn't go on WICC is because these stations' talk shows, except for Lisa and Melissa in the morning, are pro-right wing. And at heart, not the devil's advocates as they would have to you believe like you. Yeah, Chris Murphy. He should be so afraid of me. Oh, God. He should be so afraid of us here. Let me tell you something. If any politician is afraid of a talk show host, let me tell you something. We're entertainment here. I'm sure somebody who deals with hardcore Republicans and Democrats every day, they can handle it. Trust me. They can handle it. Henry's with us. Henry, what's up with you?
Paulie, you got a half a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this they've pushed me off the edge, both sides. I don't know what channel to put on. The rhetoric now back and forth is really incredible of how weak we are now. You know, just stupidity, the stuff that we listen to, the rhetoric back and forth now. I mean, thank God for God. You're like me. You love sports.
Yeah.
Thank God for March Madness.
That's it. That's all you got to watch, Henry.
No, thank God it's not there because to get stimulated now the last couple of weeks, I have to put on, forget CNN or Fox. I got to put on a test pattern or like a rerun of Rhoda to get stimulated.
Oh, my God, Rhoda. Oh, my God.
A rerun of Rhoda gives me more stimulation than the rhetoric that goes on now. I don't care which one you put in front of you.
Rhoda.
And this is all just, we have, Remember Rhoda?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that stimulates me now rather than Fox or CNN.
I don't know. Henry, thanks.
Or a test pattern.
A
Maybe
test pattern.
A good test pattern.
Oh, my God, Henry, I never thought, Henry, thank you. I never thought I would wake up this morning and have somebody mention to me that classic Rhoda. Oh.
There's so many in our community who make a positive impact, from innovators and leaders to local businesses and nonprofits. They do so much for Connecticut. We will recognize them with the WICC Impact Awards, and we need your help. Submit your nominations now across 6 categories at voiceofct.com. Then join us on May 14th at Fasano's Four Seasons in Stratford as we recognize your nominees. Honor those who've helped to make Connecticut better with the WICC Impact Awards.
For over a century, Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull has been a beacon of support and compassion for families navigating the profound challenges of grief and loss. Family owned since 1906, we are dedicated to helping you honor your loved ones with dignity and respect. Trust our experienced team to guide you through this difficult time, allowing you to celebrate a life well lived. Abriola.com, your legacy, our commitment.
No part of your home is more important than the roof over your head. Hi, I'm Eddie Griffin, the owner of Brown Roofing, your local expert for roof replacement and roof repair. Water resistant, weather resistant, wind resistant, our products offer superior protection that come with a 50-year lifetime transferable warranty. Call us today at 475-445-1195 or visit us at brownroofing600.com. Brown won't let you down.
The winter is so unpredictable in Connecticut. We have ice storms, snowstorms, high wind, so much more. So don't let vulnerable trees on your property cause damage. And no, you don't need to wait until the spring to have a team come out and remove those trees. Hey, it's Melissa Sheketoff. And this winter, take advantage of K&J Tree Services' aggressive discounts. Whether you need tree trimming, removal, or stump grinding, they offer aggressive winter discounts off of all of their services. K&J even has certified arborists who are ready to handle winter's toughest challenges with unmatched safety and efficiency. Plus, K&J Tree offers financing for up to 60 months. No scams, no hidden fees, and rates as low as 0% for qualified buyers. Don't wait for the thaw. Protect your property and your wallet right now with K&J Tree Service. Call them today for a free estimate and unbeatable savings. That's 203-248-TREE or book your assessment online at kjtreeservice.com.
Sometimes the most important personal breakthroughs are made possible by medical ones. And that's why Yale New Haven Health's Heart and Vascular Center delivers the pioneering science of Yale School of Medicine, like groundbreaking research that helped redefine the international guidelines for treating heart failure, and a new procedure to detect coronary microvascular disease, often misdiagnosed in women. Yale New Haven Health and Yale School of Medicine. Together, we're powering breakthroughs with the greatest of care.
They're changing the tax rules again. What does that mean for you?
So to be tax-free, you have to pay the tax on the money today and find the right places to store it and accumulate it tax-free forever. And then you don't care where tax rates go up in the future because you have a plan that will protect you.
To find out, join David Gagnon of First Financial Planners for Mastering Your Wealth. Saturday mornings at 8, right here on WICC 600.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound, accident remains, exit 32. That's over in the shoulder. Stay left to get around it. On 95 north, plan on 45 minutes from Greenwich through Fairfield. Definitely brakes along the way. The Parkway is the way to go. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Elifson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Lance Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Just a man, a microphone, and a lot of thoughts. Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli. WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All righty, open phones at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. By the way, you can also text me at that number as well. We get that text flow going in on every show now, which is pretty good because why would I text Paul? Well, maybe you can't talk on the radio and maybe you can't access your email. So you just do the voice to text, you finish it off, you make sure it looks spiffy and nice and good, and then you send that along to 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Bob in Trumbull's been hanging on. Bob, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, come on, Reverend Paul. I'm living the nightmare, as you know.
Yeah, well, you know.
And I hope that retreat you went on Friday, I guess they said go in Monday and make everybody depressed.
Well, no, it wasn't a retreat. It was just a vacation day, and, you know, it was a good day.
Yeah.
It was a good weekend. Good weekend.
You reverends only take vacation days? I thought you only went on retreats. Anyway.
No. Anyway, yes.
I have the answer to your question of the 29%.
Okay.
It's because they have spokesmen like Connecticut Senator Murphy and the Dick Blumenthal, which make an embarrassment to Connecticut and that wrong party. I don't like to call it left. I want to call it wrong.
Okay. But they keep getting elected though, Bob. How do you figure that?
Well, because there's so many ignorant voters out there.
Now let's be nice. Maybe.
Okay. Well, I didn't say stupid. I said ignorant.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you brought up things like the renewable energy credit.
Yes.
You know why the Democrats want to keep it so high?
Mm-hmm.
Because the money's given to them so they can spend it and make the methane gas, which is renewable.
Okay.
And then, let's see.
What's on your list today?
Going through my list.
Yeah, okay.
For power, they should take the land from the two closed coal plants, Bridgeport and Norwalk, and either put a nuke on it or a natural gas plant.
Yeah.
Natural gas plant inside is one of the cleanest plants.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand that. And, Bob, I do have to run things. No, listen. I'm all for natural gas. Seriously. But what happened, to Bob's point, what happened when Governor Lamont said, hey, we need a little all of the above, and he mentioned natural gas? What happened? The next day, the environmentalists said, well, no, we can't have natural gas. So, again, it's not that I'm anti-environment. I'm not. But what are you for? See, you lose me when you're of either party or you're of whatever interest group you are. You can't be against everything. You can't. If you really want to lower electric bills, you cannot be against oil and against coal and natural gas and liquefied natural gas, LNG. You can't. That's not a political thing. That's common sense. You need to generate electricity. Everybody is against everything. Listen, for as long as man walks on this earth, we have to make concessions. And a lot of times, electric policy, power policy is what it is, and it is concessions here. No, is everybody going to be happy? If the governor gets his wish or future governors get their wish and you extend liquid natural gas or natural gas in this state, no. Is everybody going to be happy if they put up windmills and solar panels? No. But again, you've got to be like a baseball umpire. You're not, or any official in any other sport. You're not going to make everybody happy. You're just not. But again, none of this happens. You have to understand something. As I pointed out earlier in the show, none of this happens, kids. And the governor can say whatever he wants, and these advocates can say whatever they want, and our friends can start petitions and say whatever they want about, hey, we need to get rid of the public benefits charge, unless the Democratic leadership in Hartford goes along with it. As we see, they're not going to. And they knew months ago when our buddy Scott Pearson was on this station and our other connoisseur stations and on all over the state, that that petition got 70,000 likes or whatever, or endorsement. It didn't matter. And I knew. And listen, it's great that he did that. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for public involvement. But here's the thing. Unless an elected official at the General Assembly knows that certain things might cost them an election, they won't do anything on it. They just won't. Now, if I was advising you, and it didn't happen this time around because you could have found that answer. I was wondering if enough people would have taken out their frustration on their electric bills or regarding their electric bills this past election day to make some changes in the General Assembly, and they didn't. They didn't. So what are we going to do here? Because trust me, if we're here, God willing, 5, 10, 15 years from now, we will still have the highest electric rates in the state, in the nation, or one of the high. I think we're number 2 now between Hawaii, And you know what I say? Let's go. We're only 10. Our average electric bill here in the state is only $10 a month less than Hawaii. Well, what are we doing here? Let's at least make it number 1. Come on. If we're going to be expensive, be the most expensive. We have the 3rd highest property tax burden in the country. We should be number 1. What are we doing letting New Jersey and Illinois beat us? Come on. If we're going to be bad, we should be horrible. You're just bad. You're not good. Whatever. No, we should be horrible. We should be, if we can notch up to number 1 on electric rates, and if we could notch up to number 1, go number 2 to number 1 from number 3 on property tax burden, why don't we just do that? And he's saying that for, well, you know why. I'm just acting nuts to show the idiocy here. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Mind-boggling, though. Mind-boggling. That they won't even entertain some things in Hartford because how dare they come from Republicans. And there are people in Hartford who would rather have you and I pay higher electric bills than do something. Now, look, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But like I said with Ryan Fazio earlier, folks, I learned this a long time ago. The people that immediately say no to change have an innate fear and that they may be wrong on something. And they don't have the guts to come back in a couple of years and say, you know what, I was wrong on that. I didn't think that would work, but I voted for it anyway, and you know what, it worked, and that was a good idea, and I'm glad I voted for it. I'm glad I gave it a chance to work. But when it comes to certain policies in Hartford, among them energy policies, they don't care what you and I think. They don't. The only way that changes is if you make changes come election day, which a lot of you are unwilling to do. I don't know why. You've known the guy or gal for a lot of years. Like I say, they show up at your son's or daughter's rubber chicken Little League baseball or softball game. They buy Girl Scout cookies from you. Their law offices handled your will. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But this whole electric rate thing, tail end of last week into the weekend, was driving me nuts. That oftentimes, like especially with this issue, there aren't enough leadership Democrats to have the guts in Hartford to say, you know what, we don't like this idea, but we're going to put it forward for a vote. And the bottom line is, they would rather have you pay higher electric rates than reduce your bills across the board because they're afraid of the green energy crowd voting against them because they defunded some green energy thing that was being funded by that public benefits charge. That's it. That's the bottom line. Because if they really cared about you and I, and you and your sons and daughters and extended family, if they really cared, about lower electric bills and electric rates, they would at least try some of this.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound, accident remains, exit 32. That's over in the shoulder. Stay left to get around it. On 95 north, plan on 45 minutes from Greenwich through Fairfield. Definitely brakes along the way. The Parkway is the way to go. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Elifson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. And that's Krause with WICC traffic.
Any showers and this evening, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. Sunny on Wednesday with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
When disaster strikes, whether it's a house fire, furnace malfunction, or burst pipes, trust me, Felicia, the owner of Robin Hood Adjusters, to be your advocate. With over a decade of experience, I specialize in increasing the settlement value of your insurance claim and shielding you from unethical lowball offers by the insurance giants. Visit RobinHoodAdjustersCT.com and see how I can help protect your interests and get you the compensation you deserve. At Robin Hood Adjusters, I work for you.
Support the Bridgeport Rescue Mission through Jersey Mike's Round Up program and Day of Giving. All month long, round up your purchase or donate directly at participating Stamford and Greenwich locations. On March 26th, the Day of Giving, 100% of sales go to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Your contribution provides hot meals, housing, clothing, addiction support, and life skill classes to those in need. Together, we provide hope and make a difference. Visit brm.gives for more information.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text SKINNY to 323232 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text SKINNY to 323232 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SKINNY to 323232. That's SKINNY to 323232. SKINNY to 323232.
For over a century, Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull has been a beacon of support and compassion for families navigating the profound challenges of grief and loss. Family owned since 1906, we are dedicated to helping you honor your loved ones with dignity and respect. Trust our experienced team to guide you through this difficult time, allowing you to celebrate a life well lived. Abriola.com, your legacy, our commitment.
At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your support. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. There's a court hearing shortly over whether the White House ignored a judge's order to stop the deportation of hundreds of migrants to El Salvador, many said to be Venezuelan gang members. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt.
The president is using every lever of his executive authority and his constitutional authority to ensure that our streets are safer for law-abiding American citizens.
The White House wants the judge removed. Much of the nation's recovering from storms that killed 40 people over the weekend. Meteorologist Kate Bilo says more dangerous weather is on the way.
You know what? It is severe weather season. An early heads up from the National Weather Service that by this coming weekend, we could have yet another round of severe weather in some of the same spots that got hit hard this past weekend.
Sean Dorr in Fredericksburg, Texas, says there is still a wildfire threat.
The wind right now is not our friend. That's what's causing these embers to fly and flare-ups to happen.
The Dow finished 353 points higher. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Today is St. Patrick's Day, and after multiple parades this past weekend, State Police Trooper Dan Hill spoke with WICC this morning about how safe Connecticut drivers were on the roads.
I think the most important thing is there was no fatal or serious injury accidents this weekend, which I'm very, very happy to report. However, we had 30 DUIs over the course from Friday to today. We had over 200 accidents with no injuries, 207 accidents with no injuries, and 21 accidents with minor injuries.
Trooper Hill also pointed out that with today being the actual day of the holiday, state and local police will be on the lookout for impaired drivers and urges everyone to celebrate responsibly. Both Connecticut U.S. senators voted against the funding bill that was passed by the Senate on Friday. Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy opposed the measure that continues funding the U.S. government through September 30th. Blumenthal says the Republican bill slashes billions of dollars from community budgets for police officers, firefighters, and teachers, and for critical research. Murphy says this bill makes changes to law that will make it easier for President Donald Trump to implement his plan to destroy the country. Governor Ned Lamont is worried that cuts by the Trump administration could lead to a fiscal crisis in Connecticut. Lamont says the state's budget should be in good shape for the rest of the current fiscal year that ends June 30th. However, the governor says the uncertainty over huge spending cuts ordered by the Trump administration could lead to issues crafting the upcoming two-year budget package. Connecticut Congressman John Larson also had harsh words for the administration, particularly regarding Elon Musk, after the tech billionaire failed to appear at a hearing concerning the Department of Government Efficiency.
I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so evident, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security.
In a related story, 100 people gathered on West Main Street in Stamford yesterday to protest actions taken by the Trump administration, including but not limited to Elon Musk's involvement. The protest was peaceful and was one of several that took place across the country, with many others taking place at Tesla showrooms. News 12 reported that another protest was scheduled for Saturday, April 5th, in front of the Stamford government building. Residents are being advised to have safe delivery options to thwart porch pirates. Guilford police said a red car followed a FedEx delivery truck on Willow Road late Saturday morning. Shortly after a delivery was made, a surveillance video posted on the police department's Facebook page showed a man stealing the package and fleeing. Anyone with additional video of the theft is asked to contact Guilford police. Visitors of Great Island in Darien will soon have more freedom to explore with their dogs. The town board of selectmen unanimously agreed to allow dogs off the paths on Great Island starting June 1st. The presence of dogs on Great Island has been a matter of debate in town for some time. TV 79 in Darien attended a Parks and Rec meeting this past fall where a town-wide survey was cited about residents' concerns.
The first one is concern about ecology and ecologically sensitive areas and the impact that dogs can have on that. The second is a water quality issue because waste is a reality. And then finally, there are people who just say that they're afraid of dogs.
Pet owners will have to keep dogs on a leash while on property and will need to pick up after them, too. Yale University Police this morning issued a request that any unusual or suspicious behavior be reported. 5 juveniles carjacked a delivery truck on Canner Street late last month. No one was hurt, and the vehicle was later located. Anyone with information about the carjacking is asked to contact either New Haven or Yale University Police. And the Yukon men's and women's basketball teams have received their NCAA tournament assignments. The Yukon men's team received an at-large bid as an 8 seed in the West region and will play a first-round game against Oklahoma Friday night. The Yukon women are a 2 seed in the Spokane 4 region and will host the first 2 rounds at Gamble Pavilion in Stores. The Huskies open the tournament against 15 seed Arkansas State on Saturday. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, 40 minutes from Greenwich through Fairfield. Definitely breaks along the way through. The Parkway is the easier ride right now. Out of New Haven, 95, busy but moving through Long Wharf into West Haven. And then Krause with WICC traffic.
For this evening and overnight, any showers ending, clearing after midnight with a low in the mid-30s. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 60. On Wednesday, sunny and mild with a high in the upper 50s to near 60. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Get the straight story on everything that's going on around our state. Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli is back on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
And at least the Republican legislators in Hartford are asking for an explanation or any information from the governor's office regarding, again, this horrible situation of this guy apparently, allegedly, kept hostage by his accused stepmother for 20 years. Guy weighing 69 pounds at 5'9", had wasting disease, had to apparently drink out of a toilet or something. I mean, just a horrible story. State Senator Jason Perillo, ranking Senate member on the Committee on Children, Senators Rob Sampson, Heather Summers, and Steve Harding have wrote the governor asking questions about his investigation regarding the Waterbury man who was allegedly held captive for 20 years. I have a copy of the letter here. I know what you're saying. Well, it's just political. Everything politicians do is political, okay? Hence the word politician. The letter reads in part, as you continue your investigation into the shocking reports of the Waterbury man held in isolation and severely neglected for more than 20 years, we appreciate your pledge to do all that is possible to make sure this is less likely to ever happen again. With this in mind, is your administration putting out a tip line or an email address for the public to help with the investigation? Might be a good idea. When will this information be available? You note that, quote, there are other people in this household and there were neighbors, unquote. It's incredible how this could go on for so long without more of an early warning system. With this in mind, are you directing resources to figure out how this incredible and tragic situation went on for so long? What specifically is being done? Fair questions. Fair questions. But there's something missing in this story. There's something missing in this story. Because, again, you have, I guess, a former principal of a middle school where this guy went 20 years ago, saying that, hey, we called the parents, the cops investigated, we called DCF numerous times. And here's the thing, and again, I'm not a lawyer here, I don't have all the particulars, but DCF, that's a bad look. You should keep your mouth shut. Don't say, well, after a certain number of years, we get rid of information or we decide not to act on things. Listen, a psycho's a psycho. Lion doesn't change his or her stripes, if you know what I mean. So I guess that's an early defense to DCF. And listen, I've had DCF workers call my shows over the years, venting about how there's not enough of them. But, of course, here in the state, we're going to extend health care to illegals. But, hey, let's not fund DCF the way we should. And I got this text from someone. Hi, Paul. It's very upsetting that animals would get more attention in a situation like this than a 58-pound gentleman whose stepmother is being charged with abuse. And every classmate from back then should be contacted and asked about what they remember from then. The stepmother needs to be put away forever. Okay. Listen, innocent until proven guilty. I get it. I understand it. But you know what I mean here? There's something weird about this story. And again, you have now, I guess, people coming out of the woodwork here, no pun intended, saying, yeah, this kid was skinny, We knew something was wrong. He was fishing the garbage in school. It's what they say anyway. He was fishing the garbage in school for food. Well, doesn't that ring a few bells? Listen, I'm no social scientist here, but if you have somebody who's picking through garbage in a modern society, don't you do anything here? Other relatives, again, we are going to eventually find out some really much more bad things here. My fear is, and hopefully it won't, because it floats into the oblivion sometimes. I distinctly hope it won't. I don't think it will, because of how heinous this situation was. But, if this was a box of puppies who were malnourished, this would be the lead story on every TV station for a month. We have this odd fascination that a lot of times we tend to care more about animals than we do about people.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
A high school basketball coach is now on leave for allegedly shoving a student athlete and using inappropriate language. This situation in Milford now prompts a chat with CIA